Hello, everybody, and welcome. That's really soon. Welcome back to the Conquerors League, everybody. I'm Rapterror, joined by Freedom Potatoes, as always, looking lovely as ever. And we have the ultimate match of the week. Okay, try the eyebrows. Wait a minute. We got an exciting match for you guys today. I'm very excited for this. We've got GSP and IOL going at it. The real highlight game of the week. Worlds Final was just a preview. This is the true championship right here.
It is the championship. Neither of these teams has a match win yet, but one of them is going to come away with the win today. And I think it's going to be an absolute banger. However it shakes out, we've got I think these teams have actually shown some decent potential. I was looking a little bit through the match. You can have a team that goes winless but doesn't totally roll over and die every time. So I think they'll still be able to put on a very solid show for us. We've got, of course, the content creator Prophet of Tears predicts that Glacial Spectre is going to take the win 2-1 over Iolani Esports. I don't know. I might be going for Iolani. I think it's a cool name, and just looking at the stats, it seems like they could have the edge, but really, who's to say?
Yeah, when teams come in winless, anything can happen. Like, everyone wants that win. They'll do whatever they can to get it, and that might mean some very interesting upsets, some very interesting picks, which would be really, really cool to see. I always like to see what teams get when their backs are to the wall and they have to get really creative. So this could be a very, very exciting draft for us. And this also, I think, let's see. No, the patch is it is next week. So these will be the last games before Zaheen's released as well. I mean, we won't see him in the first week, 2 weeks of play.
Yeah, I think might be disabled for all of playoffs because it's the last week of the regular season.
Yeah, so we're gonna unfortunately won't have him there. But all those other changes coming through too, especially I don't know if you saw the patch preview. They're making like 10 new champions viable in the jungle.
Oh for Malphite enjoyers.
Yeah, so this might be the last time we get to kind of see the meta as it is, and pocket picks that might not work in this new change is coming, especially as we're ramping towards the end of the season, preseason changes. So I'm interested. I want to see what the pinnacle of crazy picks is going to be today.
Mm-hmm. And these teams have pulled out some interesting picks. I mean, for GSP, Mollywops has played Ornn mid. If I was reading that match history correctly, both of the supports play a lot of mage supports, which I feel like aren't super meta, but can be absolutely delightful to watch. Just 1v1 the ADC. Why don't you? But yeah, I think we're gonna get an exciting match there.
Yeah, and got about 30 seconds to go until draft. The team's just getting the last couple things in order, and I think I'm going to be looking really heavily. You speak of mid. I think Mollywops and Romanize are going to be really big in this matchup. Mid lane is such a powerful role right now. And those pocket picks, like that Ornn pick, it could be something that really gets a lead going as we get underway into the draft for game number 1, GSP, IOL. What do you have? Will we see the legendary Ornn mid?
I think it's probably more of a pick into the tanks, but Romanize does like to play like the Akali and the Ahri, and those are champs that I think the Ornn could get a lot of value in. But Romanize also plays Sylas, and I don't think you would want to pick Ornn into Sylas. That sounds like very bad time for.
Yeah, that could be.
So I would avoid that. I also going back to Prophet of Tears. He was highlighting the jungle matchup as one to watch, saying both of these junglers have looked kind of like strong carry points for teams, and raising the question, who will be able to carry harder? So I am excited for that as well. I think they both have both Stupid Goober and Dark Slasher have kind of carry heavy pools. Most people in this kind of elo bracket I think really lean on like your Jarvan, Wukong, Zinja, a lot of these like staple picks, and they do play those, but not as much as some of the more exciting, fun solo QE stuff. So we might get a pretty different draft than we're used to here.
Yeah, but when everything's on the line, like I said, you never know what can happen. So we're gonna see as we get closer into this. First pick is gonna go towards, I'm gonna take a guess at the jungle. I think that would be a good place to start priority wise. And That's I don't know what that is. Blank?
Yeah, there's maybe a bit of a delay in the how things are getting lined up here. But yeah, so I mean, we actually IOL banned the Ornn. I hadn't noticed that while we were yapping, but they're scared of the Ornn mid, I guess. Also, both top laners play Ornn. Both top laners also play Cassante, so that's a pick I'd expect to be contested. And Mbessa. So both I think both Cassante and Mbessa open right now. That could be something that they're looking to grab early on here. Although I don't know if we'll see Pop get blind picked necessarily, but yeah,
it's. I think this draft is very Nocturne heavy. I think they're just not visible because Nocturne must have been picked at some point. The only reason I could think of why these picks are not there. Oh, there they are. Nocturne's ultimate finally ended. Right, you got to nerf that time.
I think there's been some issues with the like the Google documents. People were talking about this in the suggestions for Titan. That Google Sheets has been a little laggy, and I think that has to do with like the back end of how these picks are coming through. So that might be why things are a little. But yeah, it's okay. So now that we're getting to see the draft, we see Caitlyn as a B1. Makes a lot of sense. Pretty strong lane bully, getting nerfed on the next patch, I believe. And then Varus, a good response. Also has a lot of range, a lot of utility. Can go the poke build. And then both supports grabbing kind of magey supports. The Nico. I'm assuming the Nico is going to support and the Seraphine. A lot of AoE potential. And some solo laners picked up as well with the Orianna for Romanize, and then that Cassante I was talking about going up for Aspect Legend. So I'm not seeing like a super cohesive identity out of these comps yet. I think IOL's draft has a lot of poke potential, but they need something to give them hard engage. GSP also has a lot of poke in the bot lane, but I think they're going to want something that can follow up a little more on what Nico's trying to do. So I think these second phase picks are going to be pretty crucial to determining how these teams want to play the fights.
Yeah, and also, looking at that Nico, might be trying to utilize that little bit of I don't know if you've seen the thing about Nico. If she's transformed into a minion and gets hit by the turret, she does not untransform. Right now, that will be fixed next patch, but can definitely bait teams into walking into an area that is much more dangerous than they're expecting. So I will be interested to see how this Nico plays out and whether it's going to go to Ice or Mollywops. I'm guessing with that Galio, though, that's going to be Ethereal Ices and Mollywop with the Galio, with the Cassante, and with the Viego. A very strong front line.
Yeah, a lot of frontline. They do mostly just have the Nico as like the hard engage. Not a lot of other ways to start a fight on their terms, I think, because you really want the Galio following up on someone. Maybe Viego or Cassante can find a flank. Ooh, and IOL is going to pick Jax up for the top lane, so they can offer a little more DPS, try to chunk through that front line. But yeah, so lots of AoE for both these teams. Feels like GSP is going a little bit more for, poke a little bit, explode someone, get the Viego resets going, whereas IOL I think has a little bit more of a kind of front to backy style. They've got the Seraphine and the Orianna to empower their front line and kind of follow up on their engage, and to me that feels like a maybe a little bit easier of a style to play. But what do you think? Any thoughts on whose comp you'd favor in this game?
Ooh, I think it depends for me on how that Varus builds. If this is Poke Varus, I think GSP has the composition. While there is a lot of stacking of abilities IOL can do, Jarvan ult into Ori ult into Varus ult into Seraphine ult, like that's a big wombo combo, but there isn't a lot of like tank shred in this. And Cassante, if he gets ahead, and Galio too, they get pretty beefy, so that might be difficult. Plus also, I got to look at the range here with the Caitlyn. Caitlyn is a strong AD carry. She is one of the strongest AD carries right now, and I feel like if you're gonna they don't set her behind, she's just gonna kind of do whatever she wants in these lanes. But that might just be me. It just depends on how Dark Slasher really plays this Jarvan. I think he needs to be really on point with the flag and drags and getting those cataclysms off. But we'll see. But I think I would give it baseline to GSP at least.
Yeah, I mean, the way these games play out, it does make sense. Yeah, I mean GSP, if they're finding those picks, I think it's going to be very easy, and they do have a bit of a beefier front line. I could see the value in Varus building either way. Like, DPS Varus, I think, is going to have a much better time getting through the front line. But on the other hand, there's not a lot of like healing and shielding on GSP. So if he does, if Dark or if Riker does go for kind of the poke build, there's not a ton of answers for that for the squishies. If he's landing those piercing arrows onto Caitlyn, Nico, or Viego, then I think the poke build can get value. He can kind of just say, hey, Jax, it's your job to deal with Galio. It's your job to deal with Cassante. But I do think that's going to be a little harder to pull off. I think the more DPS focused on hit build would be a little easier to play in team fights, but in lane I think it might get bullied. So I'm curious to see what he ends up going for down in the bot lane. I think mid lane's also going to be an interesting one to watch. Orianna can bully Galio if she's playing phase rush and spacing really well, but if you mess up the spacing on Orianna, you're going to be getting justice punched into Viego gank, and if either of those champions on GSP's mid jungle gets ahead, I think you're in for a bad time as that immobile mid lane.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see how they do as we get underway in just a moment with game number 1. I'm excited to see how this matchup goes. I'm excited to see what these teams bring out here when their backs, again, 0-6, both of them really trying to push up and at least get a win in the season. This could be it. So, what are they gonna do as we get underway to the Rift?
It's a game number 1. Good chance to show your stuff. No crazy signature picks being pulled out yet, but I hope we get to see some of those in the future games. But it is a good chance to show off how the rest of the series is gonna go. Show your teeth. Again, these teams might have no match wins, but they've got at least one or more game wins, and so I still believe in these teams to pull out a good show, show some strength here, and I mean I'm expecting this one to be a bloodbath because I think both of these teams want to fight a lot.
I think so too. I think this will be a very bloody match for these two teams. Like, there's a lot of fighting that needs to happen in order to get the leads that they're going to need. It's not going to be a slow, safe kind of farming game. There's not like crazy scaling here. I mean, Caitlyn and Varus do pretty well as AD carries, but they're not like, it's not a Tristana. It's not a there's no Aurelion in this game. There's none of those champions that infinitely scale. So there's, if you start getting behind, you got to, like, farming it out might not be enough. You might need to fight to get back into this one.
I think kind of underrated scaling aspect in this game is the Seraphine. The more the teams are grouping up, the more they're team fighting, the more value she's getting out of the W. Just empowering the whole team and getting to do the AoE thing. GSP has a little bit, I think, more single target focus. Again, IOL has that big wombo combo. They're gonna want to play the team fights, but I do also think they have a bit of an upper hand in the split push with the Jax specifically. If he gets left alone on the side lane, he's going to absolutely nuke through those turrets. And so that'll be interesting to see. Cassante definitely can match him. Cassante has pretty solid wave clear and is just such a rock that if you misstep against him while trying to side lane, it's going to be bad for you. But if Cassante TP's down to like a dragon fight and Jax is left alone, Jax could be pretty happy with that. He might just sell his team for an inner turret in the top lane or something. So I think that's going to be interesting. That's another matchup I'm interested to see because I think Cassante can neutralize Jax, but if Jax gets ahead, he'll be a problem.
Alrighty. Well, I also want to see how the Viego does too, because I think Viego, even if there is a lead on IOL, I feel like if Viego plays right, if Stupid Goober can position just right there, you might have he might be able to, if you kill a Fed member on the side of IOL, now you have all those stats, now you can make the plays happen. So that's another area to look at. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities here for both these teams. This isn't, I don't feel, a draft diff overall. Like, I feel like these teams built drafts that both can compete in this matchup. there's no hard counters here. There's nothing that makes me feel, oh, this team is definitely has this if unless this happens by this point. Like if it feels like they both can fight for this, and that's always good.
Yeah, if neither team gets super ahead, this could be one of those 40, 50 minute games. I feel like because I'd expect to see a lot of back and forth action with these teams, uh, because if you dive in too early on Viego trying to get the pick and you die, then you don't have much power in the fight anymore. If you do get that opening pick, then probably just win the whole thing. And so yeah, I do think the Viego is kind of going to be the pick that like shapes a lot of the game for the blue side here. And then yeah, on the red side, I think a lot of it is going to be on that synergy, that team execution. But and the Nico, I mean, you pointed out like the Nico being able to make tower dives happen, make surprise plays around the map, pretty much any point in the game. I think if Ethereal Ice is doing interesting, or wait, do I have the sides mixed up? The Nico is able to make big things happen early on, or later on, it'll be big.
And here we go. Game number 1 is now underway. Sorry for the little bit of a delay there, but we're on the Rift GSP IOL game number 1. And already a little bit of pressure coming up here. Stupid Goober, also going by Discord Snuggles, is going to be kind of pushing up towards that jungle. Got that vision up here, and a little bit of fight here in the top side river. Romanize taking a lot of damage. They're already half health, and no sums burned, nothing wasted. Both teams should have a little bit of time to back. Should be able to do that and get their back to their spots in time. But good start from GSP.
Winning out on the early trade, it's nice. Might have gotten some mana flow bans. I think probably mana flows for both sides there. But yeah, no summoner spells blown means it's not gonna change the game too much. Both sides were able to drop vision in the enemy jungle when all is said and done, and so it's nothing too crazy happening. But no bot.
Yeah, just you say that, Galderhim takes a big amount of poke there, but trades back onto Riker. So this is the power there of that Caitlyn. She just has so much good base poke damage, especially when she gets that headshot in. And looking at the Varus here, that is a Comet, so this will be poke Varus as well. And Riker already nearing 10% health left. Got to be really careful.
Yeah, even though they land that opening, the Seraphine there, it's not enough with the Varus. It doesn't do too much damage. Yes, you root them in place, but it's not like there's a crazy amount of follow up. Like Caitlyn's able to just stand still and fire back and win the trade alongside that really strong poke level Nico. We might have an all out.
Yeah, Caravan really wants Aspect Legend. I don't think he's going to be able to get away here, though. Maybe he can get a shield. He hits the level 2. He dashes forward, and he manages to take it. First blood goes the way of GSP's top laner.
Aspect Legend getting the level up has also popped the potion. Notably, Caravan on the Jax had a nice flash dodge on the Natofo strikes from Cassante, that big knockback, but did not burn the health pot or the biscuit, and that could have made all the difference there.
Yeah, that if he'd burned those, may have been able to have enough HP. I think he thought he could just take the auto here, but doesn't have the jump, so isn't able to get onto him. And it looks like Cassante misses it, but he took W. That's why he thought he would get it with that auto, but that W block was really good.
Yeah, the Pathmaker gives you that damage reduction for the burst from Jax. Then you get the damage, the CC, and a passive proc to top it all off. So it ends up being a pretty easy win for the Cassante here. Starting the game off nice at 1-0, but gold overall, even with that first blood, is actually slightly in IOL's favor. Most of that looks to be coming from the mid lane where Oriana's bullying this Galio a little bit.
And looking at the farm too, yeah, it's up 12 CS right now, so in a pretty good spot in that mid lane. It's the downside of Galio. He is a melee champion, and while he has some ranged abilities, he doesn't really do quite as well as Caravan is taking another trade up here in the top side. Aspect Legend is, now that he's got that lead, now that he has that null magic mantle, and Caravan hasn't got to buy anything yet, a lot of that damage, especially from the W and from the passive, is just kind of gone for Jax.
Nice poke coming in from Riker the Cow, even though Galadrim is at, full mana. Oh, wait, we might see another fight up top here.
Yeah, Caravan using his dodge to try to get out of there, still taking quite a bit of poke back. But Dark Slasher is up here on the top side, looking for a gank opportunity. Hasn't been spotted yet, but now he gets seen, and Aspect realizes he is going to be in a little bit of danger. He's starting to run, gets flag and dragged, and is looking to maybe go back in. Gets jumped on by Caravan, getting super low, uses the W. Can he make it out again with it? Oh, getting a big amount of damage onto Dark Slasher. Careful, though. That flag and drag could mean his death if he takes that in, and it's going to back off, and Aspect Legend gets away, but he did quite a bit of damage in that trade.
Yeah, that's a 1v2, and Cassandra.
Oh, wait,
oh my
it's not
goodness.
done yet. Oh, he's looking. He flashes on out.
Level up.
Oh, the level up. That was a good timing on that level up. And he doesn't have mana, though. I don't know if he can really take Caravan. He might have to finally back, but he's probably got at least enough for me, a ruby crystal in his pocket.
Yeah, I should be able to get a small purchase off, but Caravan, despite the early death, is also up a little bit of CS here. But yeah, I mean, the Cassante very strong into the Jax early on. I think Jax really needs a couple items to start winning, something like Triforce or the Blade of the Ring. It's going to let him get a lot more consistent DPS, lower those cooldowns on the abilities and all that. But Aspect Legend does have the TP backup, so Caravan's stuck trying to get this wave in, but I think he's just going to have to abandon it. Got some both mid laners still pretty healthy. Just gonna try to be farming up. They've got the level 6 now, so Mollywops might be able to look for a roam opportunity.
Yeah.
Oh,
your
Ice was there the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't even notice. It doesn't show it on the spectator client if that is real Nico or real minion or Nico, and it was indeed Nico. This is why you gotta always count your minion waves.
Indeed, and yeah, I had no clue that the Nico was there until she popped out. But it's yeah, the Drake still has not been taken by either side. I'd expect that to be the kind of major point of pressure here, as both junglers are showing down bot, and is fighting mid.
Yeah, Mollywop going a little bit on Romanize. Ethereal Ice and Galderhan around. Dark Slasher looking for the in, but here comes Discord. Snuggles is looking for him. Gets the stun up. Dark Slasher trying to run. Forced to flash out. The flash forward from Discord. Gets the kill. He hasn't grabbed the spirit yet. Now he's gonna looking for that flag and drag. Going on in. Seeing if maybe he can pick something up. Oh, Riker just gets out with a sliver of health, but the heal is burned. Both flashes burned. The barrier was burned, and IOL lost a lot there and still lose out on the kills.
GSP did burn plenty of summoners themselves, but gonna be very happy to get that kill, get this wave in, and deny a bunch of farm. Oh!
And I think it's definitely more worth it now. A second kill goes the way of GSP. Ethereal Ice picks that one up.
3-0 the kill score now as, all out in top lane.
Yeah, wow, they're just going all out. I said they were going to fight a lot, and they are living up to that claim. Aspect Legend going the all out and not going to find Caravan, but going to use it to get a quick clear on this wave and maybe look for an opportunity to go in. It has run out, so the Tembos are back to normal, and we had a pause here as Romanized DCs.
Being disconnected. Can step back a little bit, take a look at the general game state. No objectives taken yet by either side. The grubs will be coming up in about 30 seconds, and that, we might see a cross-map trade of those then. And yeah, Nico is maybe moving towards mid lane also to look for a play there. That could easily set up either of those objectives if she's able to find a pick onto Romanize on that Orianna. But gonna have to wait and see if Romanize returns from that little disconnect before that happens. Yeah, GSP. Oh, swap. Okay, I'm getting where that
PC swap.
It's a full PC swap for Romanize. Wow. Yeah, so GSP up a little over 1,000 gold. They've got that first feat secured with the 3 kills, but they're gonna need to get a turret or those objectives going if they want to lock down the shiny boots upgrade. And, my camera frozen? I look pretty frozen.
You are frozen. You are stunned. It's okay.
Well,
we're just getting all your face shots. It's okay.
Yeah. I just gotta
Oh.
freeze it on the right frame, and we're all good.
uh, Good times were had. Well, while we were waiting for him to reconnect, let's take a look at the state of the game right now. So a 2K gold lead. There you are. You're back. A 2K gold lead right now in the way of GSP. Most of those kills are on Ethereal Ice, so it's the Nico, but Nico will build some. Like, it's not like most supports will get a little bit of damage, maybe a little bit more tanky, and can actually, make plays. So getting the gold on her isn't the worst, though you always do want it on the Caitlyn more or Viego and such, but it's still a good position. And I mean, we've already seen Aspect Legend in that 1v1, and now he's built up a 14 gold lead for himself. So the only place that we're really seeing a strong lead for IOL is in that mid lane around Romanize.
Yeah, and it's going to be a big question of if that gold lead will translate into anything. I'm noticing that Romanize has opted for summon area in this matchup, which is going to give you a nice bit of poke early. But in a game like this, where you're dealing with that triple melee topside, I'd really be looking to run the phase rush as, oh, we're actually back into live now. And Caravan, Aspect Legend, dueling already.
Oh, yeah, and here comes another fight already. Caravan gonna get the kill onto Aspect Legend. We go right back and just immediately just kind of a little stunned there with that fight breaking out to begin it. But IOL's back on the board, so that's good.
They've got themselves their first kill, and they might be able to secure these grubs here. But Mollywops and Discord Snuggles are looking.
Alrighty, the fight breaking out here. Discord Snuggles trying to get away. Dark Slasher gets the Cataclysm on in, but gets knocked up by Mollywop, however, goes down in the process. And now there are 4 members for the side of IOL here. Mollywop forced to flash to get away from Romanize and Caravan. And I think this should just be easy grubs going the way of IOL. Not really able to contest with just 2 members. And IOL manages to claw their way back. They were down 2K and have already swung it in just a matter of about 30 seconds back to even.
Yeah, IOL makes the first move. They're there earlier of the top lane. They come out of Tribush and find the kill onto Aspect Legends, and now they've got Discord Snuggles as well. So gold lead totally evened up, and a slight advantage in the objective department taken by IOL. Now we'll see if a dragon play comes through here. Varus, Riker down there in the bot lane could be in some danger. I see Viego has shown. Oh wait, it's not the. That's. I got baited by Nico once again.
The Nico really just keeps baiting over and over and over again, as Nicos always do. A good Nico player right there. But yeah, we have the actual Viego just kind of farming up right now, trying to get re-caught up. Had fallen a bit behind in the CS department with this gank attempt on the bot lane, and now we're trying to get back onto pace. Gold dead even between these 2 teams, and like we said, the fighting. If there's no point where the team's going even. Like, there's just a farm out for these teams. They need to get ahead. They need to fight. They need to get that gold. They need to find these opportunities to get the leads. It's the only way the wins are gonna come. And both teams have done very well so far. About a kill every 2 minutes right now, so a good pace to start this game out. And we've already gonna see a replay about what happened in this fight around the grubs.
Yeah, so I mean, they really need to get that opening pick for Discord Snuggles, but it looks like he goes down before getting that Heartbreaker off, even though Mollywops commits the hero's entrance to try to save the Viego. It's not enough. He gets Orianna ulted, and we've got to fight down bot.
Other one sees Romanize take out Ethereal Ice, just turns and immediately is dead. And Discord and Galderhan are just gonna back on up. And topside, Aspect and Caravan going at it. Aspect getting low, but we've seen this situation before. We know that this can end badly for Caravan as he jumps on in and he gets the kill. This time he manages to dodge the impact of a W there. And IOL now have clawed the lead in their direction. GSP seems to be kind of have been caught off guard since that pause.
Yeah, and I'm a little confused at the build path that Aspect Legend is going, because I'm seeing a Negatron Cloak and a Null... At the time of his death, Aspect Legend had a Negatron Cloak and a Null Magic Mantle in the inventory as the only 2 items other than that starting Doran's Shield, into a Jax who's, it's not... Jax does some magic damage. but it's not like AP Jax. He's going to be hitting you a lot with those autos. And I think that's a big contributor to why Caravan won that fight so easily. I mean, that, compared to that earlier 1v1 we saw, that looked easy for the Jax. And now Aspect Legend does have the Sheen, is starting to pick up some armor, so will be a little tankier and have a little more damage as well. But yeah, bit puzzled on the build. I think that helped the Jax out a lot.
Yeah, a little bit of a puzzling build. It's a lot of MR, and Jax does, especially post 6, that passive on his ultimate does give him that bonus magic damage. But it's not like he's like it's a like high scaling, just every hit hurts kind of thing. It's kind of just based on the amount of autoing he's doing. So I do agree that it's just a lot of MR early when it really isn't necessary. Though Aspect is starting to take this fight, so maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe it just has a weird scaling point in this. He's trying to hit this turret. I don't know if you want to fight him over the turret. Oh, but he does use the all-out to push him back over, flashing forward and getting the shutdown. Aspect Legend gets a second solo kill this game.
Now, I want to know how that's a shutdown, because Caravan was 2-1 and is down 20 CS. I mean, maybe it was like 15 at the time of death, but yeah, I'm curious how that's a shutdown there. I do think the 1v1 win going the way of the Cassante is mostly just Cassante taking a more recent back, had spent a little more gold, and does get some scaling off of those resists. So, when you use the all-out, if I'm not mistaken, you get damage based on the amount of resists that you use. And so that, giving a potent bit of damage alongside that Sheen, and that over Cassante. But Caravan does have the TP, will be able to collect most of that wave and stop too much damage from going into that turret. Also of note, that IOL getting the grubs is really nice for them, because they have the Jax, who I think is going to want to split push a lot, and so yeah, getting those grubs off that earlier play is really nice for him. And IOL also has that first Drake, so they're on a very solid path to getting that feat of monster slaying. I think first turret's probably going to be what ends up deciding who gets the boots upgrade this game.
Yeah, those boot upgrades could be very, very impactful. I feel like boot upgrades, I feel like since they've done a couple little bit of tweaking to them, and they feel a lot better overall since the beginning of the season, where it felt like it was almost a bait to buy them. Now I feel like there are definitely times like when it's good to get these items, especially the shields that come from the tankier boots. Could be very good. Could be very useful actually to deny some of the burst potential. You get the shield from the plated steel caps upgrade that could really make the difference in fighting Discord and Calderham. So I think that's going to be really important for IL to look for, and even for GSP. Still got to dodge the poke from Varus, still got to dodge the Ori shockwaves, and that damage. If you can prevent it from really bursting your team with a shield, that can make it. But yeah, having a lot of technical issues today. Romani's now on a third PC. He has multiple backups, room full of them.
Yeah, maybe a whole PC cafe or something. But yeah, the boot upgrades. I mean, I'm personally a big fan of the Ionian boots upgrade. I think that in terms of like the passive effect that you get from it, probably the strongest. That you get move speed just by hitting people, or it's very potent. But you got to know the right time to buy them. I've heard pros saying like, yeah, getting boot upgrades is one of like the things that can really decide games. It's not 100% win rate or anything like that, but it seems to be the opinion that they are pretty broken if you buy them at the right time. It's usually not going to be like right after the first item. I think a lot of times it's like kind of around that second item spike where you want to get them, because for most champions, hitting those 2 core items is going to be so crucial to your build. And the stat profile that the boots give on its own isn't necessarily worth it. Is that a second DC for the Caitlyn now?
Sir, a second DC has hit the game.
It's not a good. That's not a good sign. But hopefully these players can get back in and get the action underway. It would be a real shame if things went differently due to disconnects. But yeah, I mean, still very neck and neck this game state. I don't think either team has the clear upper hand. It's going to be very back and forth, I think, as I predicted earlier. Each team has the power to win any upcoming fight. It's just going to be a question of who's there first, who's making the first move. Because I think for the most part, whoever is taking the engage on their terms is going to win the fights. Both teams have very strong engages, but I think it's a little easier for IOL to start the fight. And because they have more engage tools with Jarvan, with the Jax, that feels a little easier for me. GSP, a little bit more, has to be a little more creative on the angles I find with like the Viego or the Nico to start things up. But they also do have really solid turn potential with like the Galio. If he's able to ult someone that's getting dove from his team, that could be big. But yeah, it's very up in the air at this point.
Yeah, well, hopefully we don't get any more pauses coming our way. There's only so many PCs we can swap to here.
Unless you're just extraordinarily wealthy.
I remember, so once I was casting a game and a player DC'd and like lost power and had to drive 20 minutes across town to a PC cafe to get back into the game, and we waited for it. It was an impressive time. And you know what? I respect that dedication to drive across town to keep playing for your team. So I feel it. It does suck, especially if you're in the southeast right now dealing with that cold snap. So or anywhere on the east side. So if you're over there right now dealing with a cold snap, please be safe. I hope your heat's working and everything. And that can lead to some technical hiccups, especially as we're approaching winter. That's more likely we'll see some teams with technical hiccups. Snow and storms can cause power outages. So, but that's nothing to be unexpected, and we are always comfortable waiting with that as long as the players are safe and okay. That's what's important here, and they should be done pretty soon. But let's take a look at kind of the state of all the lanes right now in this game. Basically even 200 gold difference. The lead in mid lane has been cut down. Lead in top lane, like you said, 20 CS up, but still apparently not enough to prevent a shutdown. All right. Oh, I'm hearing they're already back. So we're popping
Let's
right back in the
go.
game. All right, here we go. All right.
Yeah.
So so it sounds like one player has not returned. I think, is that Dark Slasher or is it Romanize? Okay, everything confirmed. Romanize unable to get back in to the game. So they are going to play this out 4v5. IOL will.
That's wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
pause time ran out already. Wow.
Yeah, that is insane. I've actually never seen that happen in a competitive game before.
I guess maybe there was a delay on like the front end of the match that contributed to that, because I thought they had more time than that. But 4v5 is going to be very tough to play. That Orianna is a key component of the Wombo combo. But if you know how to distribute your resources, the 4v5 can still be sort of playable. You can get a little more solo XP. Just depends on some very good map movement. And I mean, in an organized environment, I think it's going to be particularly difficult to win, but it could happen. Stranger things have happened. I mean, I was playing ARAM Mayhem 4v5 and we won that one, but there's no augments here. Maybe they should throw IOL some augments as a bone.
Yeah. I almost feel like this is going to be kind of probably a controversial statement, but I feel like Hoshikari should just sell their support item and go mid. Just become mid lane Seraphine. Like at least try to have some AP carry there. I'd rather not have a support than not have a mid laner. But speaking of not having something, I was about to not have a top laner. Is he's gonna get out, so he is not gonna die this time. But Aspect Legend just doing so much damage up there in the solo. We do see Dark Slasher kind of rotating up to try to help his top lane, but he's got to watch out for mid. And we're already seeing it. There it is, the rotation. Caitlyn, Nico to mid lane, Galio to bot. So they're going to send the AD carry to a lane where there is no one to contest them for free gold.
It's going to be a lot of turret damage that this Nico Caitlyn duo is able to put out. They don't have the grubs, so it'll take a little longer for them to knock those turrets down than otherwise. But sooner or later, things are just going to start crumbling for IOL as this wave is coming in mid. Might be a play around this turret. As GSP is looking for it. Nothing big going to happen quite yet, but they're starting to move around the map more. Honestly, sometimes the 5v4 can kind of make you like overplay your hand. If you feel like, oh, we have the advantage, we can just overload a side. But if you're not careful with that, you can actually open up opportunities for the split push. So still got to keep your head on straight.
my big, I think, worry for them with the 4v5 is they don't really have the champions for a 4v5. There are certain team comps that honestly a 4v5 isn't really that big a deal. If you're running something like with a smolder or something that has that like infinite scaling, you could almost like if you play it right, you can almost outdo having a fifth member with the fourth. Like you can make up for the
popped
loss
by Caravan.
Yeah, ult popped up here, but I don't know. I think he wants to take this fight. He's looking for Aspect, but here comes the dash and the charge. Caravan will get the kill. Dark Discord Snuggles dropping that Herald. Honestly, a little bit surprising, but he will end up picking up the trade in return. A little bit odd situation, but they get a turret. They get a kill. They might even go for a second here. Discord Snuggle might be able to do that.
Yeah, so turret down, first turret of the game taken by the Rift Herald from Discord Snuggles. But nice 1v1 from Caravan. We saw him taking a rough trade not too long before that, but backs TP's in and able to get the 1 for 1, which, for a 4v5 is not too bad of a pickup. But, and a Drake taken? I mean, that's really not too bad for IOL.
Yeah, they managed to get a couple things. It's still early in this 4v5, so they have a lot of opportunity to still get the, get objectives, get pieces, try to stem the bleeding a little bit and get themselves into a position where they can just smack GSP with their like wallets. And that, getting those dragons is good. Getting that kill in the top lane, also good. Hopefully it doesn't give Caravan another shutdown again.
Surely we don't get shutdowns while 4v5, right? But hey, it could happen. And yeah, we also saw Dark Slasher trade flashes with Mollywop, so possible that IOL looks for a play on the Galio now. But that is a tank Galio, gonna be pretty hard to pull off as Romanize is back. We are 4v5 no more, potentially.
Yeah, Romanize returning to the Rift. And that's going to be a definite sigh of relief for IOL. They desperately needed their mid laner to be back here. And thankfully wasn't gone so long that it's like just snowballed out of control and laying down 2 levels and probably is pretty close to at least 11. So a lot of opportunity here to get back into this, but there's a 3K gold lead was the cost that IOL paid to GSP, and they've got to try to recollect on that as bot turret getting very low as well. The last outer turret still standing. See Ethereal Ice trying to bait out Dark Slasher there on the bottom side as Caravan and Aspect Legend just juke it again in the top side. Got to be careful though. Don't want to go too far forward. Legend doesn't want to end up under that turret. But the positioning around the pit doesn't look like it's going to amount to anything on the bottom side. There is no dragon for 3 minutes. Aspect Legend getting pretty low again. Caravan now going after him yet again. Goes all out, but goes into the turret with it. Oh, Galio coming to save his top laner with this with the ultimate. He does manage to save him. Romanize is here, though. Oh, no. Aspect Legend is going to provide a kill, and Romanize, just like that, right back into the game.
Nice kill for the Ariana to pick up. 3-0 now. Gets that wave. Saves the turret from going down as well, and there might be a dive down bot here.
Might be. I don't think they're going to quite dive onto... Yeah, no, the Caitlyn, while low on health, Seraphine is incredibly low on health, so got to be careful there. Mollywop's trying to run away from Romanize, which I don't know if you saw the gold there. Romanize has more gold than Mollywop's.
How?
I don't...
It's 3 kills, but the 40 CS, I think, should be making up for that. Maybe turret platings were taken earlier. I can't quite see the health on that blue side turret. But,
I don't think they got any turret plates, but I think, isn't it, a kill is worth what? Is it 12?
It's about 15 to 17. Depends a little bit on the game time, I think.
Okay, well the gold lead was only about 30, so so that makes sense if they got 3 kills to go up that much.
Galio.
Yeah, no flash, got cataclysmed, stuck there, just trying to clear up the minions. But Dark Slasher will pick that kill up, and IOL continues their resurgence with the return of Romanize.
Mollywop's really wanting that inner turret. It gives a heaping helping of gold locally if you are able to take that down. So understandable, but overplays their hand a little bit and just gets taken out by the gank there. And these top laners continuing to duke it out. This has definitely been the most entertaining lane to watch, I think. We've seen flashes, dodging the skill shots, dodging the counter strike, all sorts of action. Seen the outplays from both sides really, but right now it feels like Caravan's got a slight upper. Otacon started up by IOL.
Yeah, it's already pretty low. Aspect Legends teleports on in, so does Mollywop. Caravan came too. Everyone has joined in on this fight, but will it be enough? Already a double kill going the way of GSP. They
nice
trade
route.
it back onto the Nico. Caravan getting low too. Double over to Galdrahim. A double to the Cassante, and make it a triple for the Caitlyn, and an ace for GSP. It gets chaotic, it gets messy, it gets brutal, but GSP comes out ahead. 5-2 in kills.
IOL was starting to look good, but Etherealize finds a really nice engage here, and we see Romanize just get deleted. Etherealize does go down early, but the mid jungle dying so quickly for the side of IOL. And this is a moment where, as the Varus, you would definitely want to be that on-hit build. It's, if you're not able to play poke before the fight, it's pretty brutal. He's hitting in the backline, stays alive for quite a while, Riker, but yeah, once there's 4 people coming to try to kill him, it's he's those arrows aren't doing very much damage.
No, they are not, and it is costing it costs the team really. This is why like Poke Varus is. It's like I'm always not a big fan of it unless unless the enemy team is designed for Poke Varus to play into. This is a hard one, and it definitely is costing. Dragon started up now for IOL. The engage coming in from Mollywops hits a 4-man taunt, and down goes the Seraphine right off the back. There goes a huge cataclysm and a shockwave. Double kill, triple kill overall. A double for Caravan in the extended fight. Mollywop trying to taunt everyone again, continuing this up, but the double goes to Dark Slasher, and 4 kills go the way of IOL. They finally hit the combo in the big fight, and it pays hugely.
That's going to be the 3rd dragon for them, putting them on soul point. Really good win condition for IOL here. And I mean, yeah, such a key part of why that last fight didn't go their way is that Hoshikari did not have that Seraphine. And this time around, it's up for IOL, and it pays massively, as we're going to get to watch this again. They have the setup. They start the dragon up first, but, GSP thinks they can fight this. It's a big haunt from Mollywops here, but look at the charm out of Hoshikari. Yes, the Seraphine goes down, but then that Cataclysm Shockwave combo is so big. Viego just gets deleted before being able to pick up that soul, and with Viego gone, there's really no way to win the extended fight. Yes, you have tanky members, but you have no damage to back them up, and so it's a massive win for IOL, who still down 2k, but yeah, they've got themselves on soul point I'd say in a pretty good spot considering they were 4v5 for a couple minutes there.
Yeah, and they played for the neutrals. They managed to get them still. They managed to get that 2nd dragon, setting them up for this soul point that they just won. And yeah, they just played very well, knowing they were down a member, but believing in their teammate to come back. That's the camaraderie we love to see here in Thailand.
Aspect Legend now getting jumped on.
Yeah, gonna get jumped in the top lane by Romanize and Dark Slasher. Going back in, though, looking to see if maybe he can trade back. He is very beefy, so, there's the all-out, the flash out of Romanize. He's trying to get away. The Cataclysm coming through, too. Will it be enough? It will not. He will go down, but it did cost a flash. It did cost also an ultimate. He did ult in the beginning of that, too, with the Shockwave, and it cost Dark Slasher's ultimate, but, you get the kill, and that's what you want. And now Discord's up here. For Dark Slasher. Romanize still around, though. The ultimate going on in. Can he kill him in time? He can. And now he wants the soul. He wants the Orianna. He's looking to get on the 2nd execute. Can he pick it up in time? No, he can't. Riker the cow had roamed up and helped secure the kill onto Snuggles.
Nice chains of corruption from Riker the cow. Gives just enough damage for Dark Slasher to live, but Caravan still getting pressured on the bot side. While all of that's been happening up top side, he is 1v3 down here in the bot lane now, and IOL hasn't been able to pick up a major objective off of this. They're starting to get those waves in a good spot, but yeah, the push power from this Nico Caitlyn lane is tough for the Jacks to deal with. So IOL still gets a nice payday, but the gold hasn't really changed quite yet. We'll probably see, Baron spawning in 10 seconds, Drake in 2.5 minutes. One of those fights, I think, is going to decide the game here, because that's either the soul or the Baron buff going on to one of these teams. And yeah, those have the power to completely swing things.
And now Dragon will be up in 2 minutes. It would be Cloud Soul. Not the greatest for the champions on IOL, but that movement speed will always be appreciated. And I mean, Jax will like it. Everyone else kind of has to stop when they cast their ultimate to kind of like force channel it. I mean, except Jarvan, but you know, you're trapped in a rock, you know, and when you're trapped in the Cataclysm, you don't really need the movement speed. But GSP definitely could see them wanting it. Definitely would be very powerful for their team to be able to get a hold of Nico, especially with it. So I think GSP will have to fight for this. They cannot let the soul go over. They really do need that if they want to be able to keep themselves in the lead in this game. They've gotten the objectives, they've got the goal, but they are struggling in those fights. And with only a minute and a half till it comes up, they've got to be careful because I definitely could see IOL looking to make a pick in the next about 45 seconds to prevent it being a full 5v5 at the pit.
That empowered Scuttle Crab will be taken by the side of GSP, so they'll have vision control over most of that area when that Drake spawns. But yeah, still a minute out. Someone's going to have to try to make a pick happen. I think Ethereal Ice is who my eyes are going to be on. Has disguised as Viego for now, and is kind of trying to bait out some of these abilities maybe with the Nico, but there's no engage happening yet. No follow-up in the area. But if they are able, ooh, Dark Slash
gets rooted up. Discord Snuggles goes on. Here comes the Caitlyn ult from downtown, and Galdrahim picks up the first kill. A taunt coming through from Mollywops, pushing everyone out of the way. Chains of Corruption lands onto Galdrahim's Caitlyn. Roman Eyes has been found. Ethereal Ice going in onto him. Rikers, though, trying to fight. Poke from the back. Isn't going to be able to find anything. Galdrahim picks up a second kill. They also managed to grab Hokiara at the beginning of that. 3 kills go the way of GSP 20 seconds before Dragon, but they don't even care about that. They want this Baron.
Yeah, interesting that they choose to opt for the Baron. If they overcommit to this, I do think IOL could try to just grab Soul for themselves. We see Caravan heading down to the bot side, but we'll just be going to the wave, not to the objective. It's like, still, if even if you get the Baron and, you know, IOL gets Soul, I don't know if that's quite the trade you would want as GSP, unless you can close things out with that buff. But I mean, shout out to GSP for finding that pick. Dark Slasher is reasonably tanky on this Jarvan, but the CC layering is perfect from them to deny any opportunity to flag and drag or flash over that wall. But the Cloud Soul does go over to IOL in the meantime. And so it's going to be a question of, does that temporary power of the Baron buff give GSP the chance to end the game, or will they be stuck down the Soul 4-0 now in Drakes?
We'll have to see what's also stronger, Cloud Soul or Baron in a siege, because I feel like GSP is gonna be starting to siege up one of these lanes. This mid turret is just so low, I can't see any other. So I guess they want the Raptors more than the turret. Oh wait, nope, it's still going down. Doesn't matter. They don't.
Minions do the work.
Yep.
Galadriel doesn't have to walk up and put himself in any danger on the Caitlyn. He's just chilling. Especially those cannon minions, just slowly work their way through the turret. But yeah, this Cloud Soul is going to be very potent, especially on this poke Varus. It makes you just way faster, even when you're channeling that piercing arrow, so that you can get in and out of the fight, you know, in and out of poke range a lot more safely. But yeah, the siege potential from GSP's bot lane, I think, is what's going to make this Baron really scary for IOL to deal with. They don't have great answers to it because the wave clear, you know, they have some with the Varus, the Orianna, but it takes a while for those waves to go down. And if Caitlyn's able to hit the turret, she's going to chunk through it very quickly. She is 6-1, 3 items here, and has those that empowered the Swift March. So is able to kind of walk in and range pretty quickly. And look at those Baron cannon minions just chunking out the turret so quickly, even for the Cassante, who doesn't do too much damage himself. Dark Slasher.
Last inner turret did fall, so there's nothing left outside of the base for IOL. They are locked in here, and now the base is cracked. Middle turret goes down. Huge Seraphine ult. They managed to get Caitlyn, but can they find anything else? Mollywop's looking for the taunt. Hits one, is trying to run away with the Galio ult. He will be able to get out of there, but will it have cost Aspect his life as everyone piles on top of the top laner? He does go down, and now the hunt is on for the rest of GSP, but they will manage to get on out. And while they do manage to get 2 kills, IOL still finds their base blown wide open and themselves down a 5k gold deficit.
But 5K is around where the gold deficit was when Baron was taken. As ooh, Caravan, be careful.
Yeah, he's trying to be careful, but not enough. Ethereal Ice hitting a huge ultimate will pick that kill up. Discord Snuggle's gonna grab that Caravan soul for himself and become the Jackson. Okay, well, now the gold lead is 6.
That's going to extend the time that GSP has to play with this Baron. After losing those two members, their momentum was kind of stopped. And yeah, I mean, GSP needs to just continue trying to balloon this gold lead, siege the enemy base, because if we're having more fights happen with the Cloud Soul, I think IOL is going to be in a pretty good spot. So yeah, GSP just needs to push the tempo, continue pushing this gold lead, take advantage of what they have now, because otherwise the permanent buff is going to give a bit of an edge to IOL.
Sudden,
Oh. We've got a freeze in the client here.
yeah.
So we hopefully we'll be able to see this game finish out. I believe the players should still be playing. It's just on our end we're waiting to see if play resumes.
Yeah, both our regular and backup have been hit by this. All these client changes. Something a little out of the game, but still related to the game. I don't know if you saw the leak from a reliable leaker in China the other day, but supposedly later in next year, a huge update, basically League 2 is coming. Kind of not like a new game, more like what they did with Counter-Strike with an engine overhaul. So I wonder if some of these issues might be under the hood stuff from when they're what they've worked on already as they prepare for it.
I mean, yeah, League is famously, a gazillion strands of spaghetti just tied together that spaghettify even harder from time to time, and so it's yeah, I'm hopeful that the updated game will fix a lot of that and a lot of the other weird things like inconsistent like minion block or hitboxes, all sorts of things that the player base loves to complain about. I mean, the league is pretty polished, but it's got its flaws, especially with the frequency of patches. It's never perfect. So yeah, that engine update is going to be pretty exciting if what the leaker says is true. I am definitely inclined to buy it. I imagine Riot's been working on something quite some while now. But yeah, it'll be cool. I also saw that sort of tactical pauses almost might be coming to competitive league in the near future. So that would also be exciting. It's a feature that's common in tactical shooters like Counter-Strike and Valorant. You can pause in between rounds and just try to regroup and re-strategize. Cool your heads if you just had a bad round. And I think that could be really interesting to see in league if you can get the coach in there getting your telling you to get your head back in the game if you just had a really bad loss in the previous game and you need to detilt earlier. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that shakes things out, because I mean, I think generally players are still have a pretty decent handle on that kind of thing, trying to keep yourself calm in game, but at least at the higher levels. But I think especially in this level of play, it'd be really interesting to see how tactical pauses could impact the league.
Oh, I am looking forward to the day we have those in here. Oh, you think it's chaos now? I can already see that being difficult. But yeah, I think that would be it's an interesting idea. I'm just not sure on the implementation of it because like I feel like you have to have the uh what's the word? Oh, we're back in. We're back in. Okay, we'll have this discussion more later, but we're back in the game, and a bot turret falls for IOL, so they get their first turret of the game. They pull themselves up a little bit in the gold, and now we're 20 seconds, so it's just looks like everything kind of just got lagged. And Mollywops gets found out here, but Ethereal Ice goes in, hits one with the ultimate, so not a big one right there, and will go down almost immediately. Caitlyn trying to get there in the back line. Here comes Viego, but he dies immediately as well. Now it's Aspect Legends' turn to walk forward for his team, trying to buy some space. Mollywop just getting blasted. Caitlyn can't even get shots off. Mollywop is going golden, but not for very long. Will get taken down by Hoshikari, and now Aspect Legend is on the retreat. Oh, actually, he's going back in. Shockwave coming through, goes all out, trying to go berserk, trying to dash around, looking for the kills, but Riker the Cow will pick it up. He'll probably get this Elder with his team as well, as 4-for-1 goes in favor of IOL, but the Caitlyn is around, could still try to steal it, looking for Dark Slasher, who does flag and drag over the wall, looking for her. There's the Seraphine ult that does hit, but Caitlyn manages to find the kill, and now on the run, rooted up, gets taken by Riker, and it's an ace. Well, actually, no, not an ace, because Ethereal did respawn in time, so no ace for IOL, a delayed ace in a way, but they should still manage to get this Elder. Ethereal's running over, but wasn't going to be able to get there in time. So Elder goes the way of IOL. They've brought the gold lead back to dead even, and now it's on them. It is completely on them. They have the tools. The Baron is up. They could fight for that and take it, and they could end the game maybe at this stage, but you know, that's
There's
also
no jungler for IOL. Our Dark Slasher going very aggressive, kind of, I think, underestimating this Caitlyn, who is almost full build now. Does a lot of damage, even though Dark Slasher lands, you know, some of the combo. It's not enough. There's not enough follow up from the team to get through the Caitlyn's health bar before he goes down. And yeah, we've got that sort of delayed ace. Galadrim just respawning. Dark Slasher also just coming out of base, but the Elder buff should be enough for IOL to contest this Baron and continue pushing the pace of this game. They want to take the fight to GSP here and use that buff to its max, but GSP might be trying to make a backdoor play down bot. We'll see how this goes. They don't have the wave quite in position to really look for the end, and so I think they're just gonna take pressure on the map, give the Baron buff over. I mean, if IOL gets their recall stopped, they could end up losing the base, though. Caravan, you can't back there. He's gonna have to TP out, but that's not it got stopped by Baron.
It got stopped. Yeah, he can't get out of there. They're gonna get the Baron, but they're trying to get back. Only Orianna has made it back. Now they finally cleared the Baron. They're trying to push forward, and IOL wasn't able to get it into the base in time, but ooh, that was looking really dangerous. Caravan did lose his teleport, and the Baron stopped.
I'm a little shocked at the how slow the take from IOL is. Even with the Baron, they just don't have that much DPS, it feels like. But they do have the Elder and the Baron, although Elder will be wearing off pretty soon. They are still going to be able to try to knock down some of these turrets, recoup. Well, actually, the gold lead has completely disappeared for GSP, so IOL has everything in their favor except, for the champs. I think Viego still has all the potential to turn this game around. Caitlyn on this many items is such a threat to deal with if you misstep against her, but the super buffs from IOL should let them continue knocking down these turrets. They just have to take their time and not get too aggressive, not get engaged on by something crazy from Ethereal Ice. If they can do that, I think they'll be in a pretty good spot to close this game out.
Aspect Legend taking a lot there, getting poked down already, halfway to the execute, and there goes the Jarvan. Huge Seraphine ult comes into Ethereal Ice, trying to stop everyone, but Caitlyn falls first. Turret goes down, so does the Nico, and now there goes the Viego. Mollywop trying to ult on in, Caravan goes golden as Assorted Legend goes all out and trying to juke back. Mollywop's getting caught here, trying to get the taunt, does manage to land it, but only going golden for a moment before they die. Riker picks that kill up to go unstoppable, and now Aspect Legend will fall as well. It's an ace for IOL, and despite the 4v5, despite all of the technical hiccups for them, they still manage to take game number 1.
Good resilience from IOL in game number 1. It was a lot of pauses. It was, a 4v5 for a while there, but they managed to pull it out, and in really back and forth fashion. The game was so even for so long, but they were able to stack up the Drakes for IOL, and that, I think, is the key to them winning this game, because the fights are so much easier to play when you just have that persistent movement speed from that Cloud Soul and all those other dragon buffs. A big shout out to Riker the Cow on Varus. 8-1 and 10. Super solid performance in game number 1 here. Both ADCs, I think, really performed quite admirably here. Galadrim on the Caitlyn also with a very solid performance, was 7-2 at one point, but then went down in those final 2 fights. So the KD doesn't look quite as nice, but I think was having a very solid game up until the end there on the Caitlyn.
And the Caitlyn did very good, but just wasn't enough. The team just didn't have the tools, and I thought, I thought it could go their way, but IOL just, they layered their abilities so well. I'm always a little hesitant with layering because you have to time it really well to make sure that you're not wasting some of the CC in your combo. But they just timed it so perfectly. The Jarvan into the Seraphine into the Ori, it just into the Chains of Corruption. There was just no room for response from GSP, and they had that lead for a bit, and part of that came from the 4v5. Part of it came from their early game play, especially in the top lane. Aspect Legend looking so good in the Caravan, but it just wasn't enough. And that's a rough game to lose. You had everything going your way. You gotten this 6K gold lead. They were down 4v5 at one point, and then it just goes away like shortly after they come back. That's a heartbreaker right there.
It is. And I mean, speaking of heartbreaker, I feel like Stupid Goober had a very tough time finding those picks on Viego. It was I so much of GSP's comp relied on using, Nico or someone else to set up those picks for Viego. And it felt like they just weren't as coordinated as IOL was in a lot of those fights. We saw, Nico go, I mean, around that key Elder fight, Nico goes in, only hits the ult on one, and there's not enough follow-up to make that pick happen. So if you're not getting a pick out of that Nico ult, I think you're very likely to lose the fight. It takes a lot of creativity to make those picks happen once the game goes late. And so yeah, I mean it's big game for IOL there to turn things around from what looked like a pretty challenging spot. I also have to shout out Hoshikari with the Seraphine ult was specifically very good, I think, at using it to counter the Nico ult. If Nico stuns the team, but everyone else on your side is charmed, it negates so much of that power. And it's a very easy lineup, right? The team sees Nico ult, they want to follow up. But Seraphine comes through and just, stops that in its tracks.
Yeah, now looking down the barrel of game number 2 of a potential IOL getting their first win, GSP, they've got to find something. They've got to craft something a little bit more able to coordinate well together. They've got to clean up some of these coordination mistakes, because they will be winless, and that is never a good position to be. I mean, they're already winless, but to be the only team in the league winless, that's a hard thing to come back from. So will they be able to find it? Will they be able to make the comeback and get the reverse 2 wins, or will IOL close this out in clean fashion? Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Conquerors League. We are now getting underway with game number 2. I hope you're all having a good time. Hope you're ready for another hour and a half banger, because we've got it coming for you.
We ran through pause time. We had a 4v5. We had a lot of back and forth action, but it's IOL coming out on top in game number 1, and now the teams have switched sides. So GSP gonna have that counter pick. IOL gonna have the blind pick, the blue side first pick here, and they're still opting to ban away that Ornn. We've also seen Cassante picked away. So this is a this is a Syndra ban. I'm actually getting word that there's still a little bit of a challenges going on with the spreadsheet, I believe, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these teams adapt their drafts on the new side with all those champions from the first game gone. So yeah, some of those contested top picks like the Cassante are gone. I would expect Ornn and Bessa are two champs that these top laners love to play, and so we might see some contest on those. But yeah, lots of targeting towards the top side of the map with junglers, mid laners, top laners.
All the laners.
But not the bot laners.
Not the bot laners. No one really wants to get those bans as we get underway with the first pick. Oh. And there is the Ornn. Production, can you confirm with us? Is this actually Ornn?
B1 Ornn.
It is. That is Ornn. Okay, so it is a B1 Ornn. Alrighty.
I generally would feel that B1 Ornn is really risky because, yep, there's a Mordekaiser. That's a very, very, very potent pick into the Ornn. He can steal your stats. He has % magic resist, penetration in his E. And if you try to use the Call of the Forge God, he can just put you in the Death Realm, so you can't do anything to follow up on it. I know the Ornn is a contested pick, but it is not one that I would be blinding in the first phase.
Yeah, that's a really risky play there. They do lock in the Yunara, so you've got a very strong AD carry. I think it does well into Ashe. You got the Lilia too. So you got some good setup here going on. The Kha'Zix's going to come out for the jungler for GSP. I'm always happy to see a Kha'Zix.
That is a rare pick, but both the Lilia and the Yunara are pretty defenseless, and they don't have easy access to on-demand CC, so Stupid Goober might be jumping all over that back line. They are going to need some CC to come out from the mid lane and support if they want to shut that champ down.
Yeah, got a lot of support bans coming through here for both sides. A lot of these tanky supports. A mid laner ban for IOL is going to be the LeBlanc here. What do they have in store? GSP locking in, waiting for the Nocturne to disappear. It is going to be the Anivia. Okay, we've seen.
Okay, yeah.
I've seen a lot of this lately. It's been looking very good.
Mollywops pulling out the Anivia. We saw Faker doing it. As an Anivia enjoyer, I honestly thought Faker's build at times was whack. I just have to say, but the champion gets so much value, at least into like low rank comps. I don't actually know if this is like the #1 game where I would necessarily pick the Anivia. I view her more as a counter blind, and it's going to be Azir as a response to her. So Azir can kind of outrange her and has the mobility to get over that wall as well. No, he's a very difficult champ to play. I'm excited to see if Romanize has the chops to demolish this lane or what, because I do think it should be pretty Azir favored. But Anivia is always a wild card, and Azir kind of is too. We've also got Karma and Nami down in the bot lane, so yeah, not a lot of CC to deal with this Kha'Zix on the side of IOL. Really not, yeah, it's not guaranteed in any sense. They do have the Emperor's Divide from Azir as an option to deal with that, but for the most part, I think this will be, yeah, I think Stupid Goober should be having a good time this game.
Yeah, I think this should be a pretty good game for him. There's a lot of easy targets to kill. The Karma with the AoE shield could be a bit of a problem, but I'll be honest, I don't like Karma's support. I just feel like Karma in the modern game struggles a lot with the fact that she has basically no scaling and falls off like a rock later in the game. So I'm not happy with that. I think the AoE shield is good into Kha'Zix, and that's the best situation here. Maybe the tether to kind of lock up Mordekaiser and maybe hunt someone down, but I just feel like there were better options available. Yeah, you don't have the Braum, you don't have Leona, you don't have Lulu maybe something like I feel like something like Renata could
Nautilus?
have been Nautilus, Renata. I mean, Renata into range always sucks, but it's gonna make Kha'Zix's life hell, and also would do really good into the assassination. So a little on that pick. I feel like GSP has the better comp here, but I mean, IOL show they can perform very well even when the chips are stacked against them.
Iowa's also very heavily indexed into scaling. They've got, hyper scaling mid laner. Ornn wants to hit the late game for those upgrades. Lilia needs the power clear and get a couple items before she's really online. Yunara has a decent laning phase, but certainly not as good as Ashe, I would think, and is also very item reliant. So I would expect GSP to probably get a lead in the early game, and I think their composition is, for the most part, better into their counterpart. The Mordekaiser is extremely solid into the Ornn. I think the bot lane should be pretty even, but there's just more CC on GSP side. Whoever has more CC tends to win games. In my book, my experience, I
Yeah,
think they have the tools to set Stupid Goober up very well.
Yeah, I agree. I think this could be a game Kha'Zix takes over. I think Aspect Legend locking that Morden will also be good. I agree with you. I think the B1 Ornn is a little sus. I will say though, it does have the nice benefit of even if they don't have the mobility to get over Mollywop's wall, at least he can ram the wall and break it. So got that going for you. But we'll see as these teams get ready to load in to the Rift. And looking around the rest of this, I'm trying to see if there's any other particular notes I want to note on these champions. I think a lot of this focus to start this out will be on the jungle. I think jungle is going to be a really important thing here. Stupid Goober didn't have the greatest first game. The Viego didn't really get to do much and have a lot of impact, but if he can really turn it around here on the Kha'Zix, it could be the factor. But he really is going to need to step up, and he really is going to need to put on those early gank potential.
Yeah, Stupid Goober might be able to invade the Lilia. Also, his clear's a little slower, but if he finds her in the jungle early on, I think he wins those trades pretty hard on his champ. So I'm curious to see if he's going to take an aggressive approach or kind of just try to match the full clear earlier on in the game. But yeah, it's I think that's yet another lane where like I would give the edge to GSP. But GSP is going to need to keep their foot on the gas. If IOL is able to slow the pace of the game down and let their carries get fed, it may get to a point where even if Stupid Goober is, having a pretty good game, he still just gets shut down by the amount of raw damage that's present on IOL. Because if you get hit by like the Emperor's Divide and just autoed a few times by Yunara and Azir, your health bar is gonna evaporate pretty quick. The game goes on late enough, so. Yeah, GSP I think they're gonna have to close this out before things go too.
I agree. And the loading almost through it, so we're gonna be loading up onto the Rift in just a moment. And let us know in the chat, who do you think is gonna win this game? Is IOL gonna take this 2-0, or will GSP be able to turn it back around and take us to a game number 3 as we end up on to the Rift?
Neither team going crazy aggressive here, although IOL does want the board. We saw them get aggressive for this in game number 1 and take a big chunk for it. So they might try something similar here. But the Q from Anivia. Yeah.
And Mollywop's getting poked at. Dark Slasher took a bit of damage too. Oh, misses the Q, so gonna get poked back a little bit and gonna have to walk away. Hikari comes up and everyone just gonna back up, probably get it back, get full healed, and overall, a little bit of trading, but nothing crazy for this first game. Bo Riker found here by Ethereal Ice in the bot lane.
Ooh, that's a
damage too. Yeah,
that is not a lane you want to be taking trades. Even in the 2v2, I don't think IOL wants that trade because Ashe, if you get slowed by her at level 1, she's just going to continue dumping arrows into you until your health bar is pretty chunked out. I don't think IOL has the tools to fight back. And in a 1v2, it's even worse for Riker. So not a great start down there in the bot lane, already having to pop the potion. And when your goal is to just survive and get farm, that's not a good sign. Start off.
Yeah, not the greatest, but already burning those potions. And at least, you got a Karma to give you some shield to help alleviate some of that damage as, Ethereal Ice taking a little bit of trade there from Riker. getting the heal back, and ooh, Riker already at half health. This early start to the lane, not going great for IOL.
Not going great, but they were able to chunk through the wave a little bit at least. They're not going to like lose level 2 super hard, but it looks like Romanize may be having some PC troubles yet again as this guy. Oh, never mind. We're back. Yay.
We're back. A dinosaur story as we get back into the game. These technical delays won't stop us this time. And now, game still even. It's just 2 minutes in, and everyone just casually farming up. I think it'll be a bit before we see a lot of action. I think well, not a bit. It'll be a couple minutes because we need Kha'Zix to get 3. We need him to get in position. And we need to look for an opportunity for him to gank as getting a little frozen up there. And top side, we talked about this top side matchup. Tell me more about the Mordekaiser into Ornn. What is the struggle here for Ornn?
I mean, I would say Ornn's biggest struggle is he does pretty well in short trades, which he has easy access to in the early game. You can kind of just Q Mord and walk away. But once Mordekaiser has Rylai's, Mord thrives in these extended trades, and he has tools to just keep Ornn close to him. He has built-in magic penetration. He's able to steal those resistances, which Ornn gets so many resistances. His build through his passive, through those Ornn upgrades. And so that's just going to make Mord even stronger. And if he uses the Death Realm properly, Aspect Legend can also just interrupt Call of the Forge God before Ornn gets that second hit off and nullify so much of that ability's power. So there's a lot of tools that this Mord has to beat the Ornn. Now, Ornn's still going to give a lot of value to his team, right? He can upgrade his teammates' items. He still has CC. If he can engage from outside of Aspect Legend's range to get good value out of the Call of the Forge God. There's answers for Ornn, but it's a pretty tough lane open.
Yeah, and it's starting to look a little tough. Caravan has the higher health right now, but eventually he will run out of mana and will be at the mercy of Aspect Legend. Dark Slasher coming up into the mid lane. Wall going up for Mollywops to delay a bit, but Romanize goes forward, getting really low. Doesn't have any health, and Discord snuggles there. Flash looking for it. Not going to find it with the flash, but First Blood will go the melee of Mollywops. And now Discord snuggles hanging out in the area just to make sure his Anivia doesn't die. And First Blood for GSP.
Players kind of need to learn, like, if there's a really low Anivia just walking at you 1v2, she might, she might have a reason. You never underestimate your opponents, and Romanize just doesn't have the mana to keep the damage going, nor the health. They do get the egg out of Anivia, but Dark Slasher has to run away, and I think that means that the crab also went over to Discord Snuggles. Yeah, 2 crabs for this Kha'Zix because he just wins those early trades with Lilia. So even though she has a very fast clear, it's 8 CS up in the jungle for Discord Snuggles, who's, pretty happy with that start to the game. Actually, I just noticed, did not get an assist on the Azir kill, but Mollywops did get the kill and is going to be very happy with that.
Yeah, but well, they're going to be very happy on the side of IOL right here because they're looking for a kill. Dark Slasher going to be the one to pick up Aspect Legend coming up to the top side there to help Caravan out.
Caravan holding his own well so far in the lane. I mean, at the early points of the game where you haven't hit those items, Ornn can go toe-to-toe with Mord. Has pretty good base damages and can kind of play around the ranged poke from the Q. And if you're using the Bellows Breath properly to block the pullback from Mordekaiser, that can also help with it. So yeah, so far, well played in the lane from Caravan, I would say. Not succumbing to the losing lane yet, but I do think it'll continue to get harder as things go on.
Now, looking at the state of the map, we're already seeing this Kha'Zix with the Brutalizer, so could be looking soon for a gank opportunity. Bot could be the play when they get back from their back. It is pushed in, should be evened up, so maybe won't have that opportunity, but seeing more of my concern from last game, Discord Snuggles still, like, he did come to mid, yeah, but, like, he didn't even get the assist for that kill. It was just all soloed by Mollywops. And I'm getting a little worried. Kha'Zix is an assassin. He really, really needs kills to accelerate his pace in this game so he can be effective.
He will need those kills, but he's got himself at a pretty good state. Has the Brutalizer, so decent chunk of gold off that first back. And looks like that GSP wants to do the Drake here, but they are checking a bush that has players. But they've got total control over the spot lane. Riker's shoved under the turret, and so this might be a free Drake, but it seems like IOL is thinking about the contest with Romanize and Dark Slasher.
it. There would not be TPs from the top
Oh,
side. Oh, Romanize, oh, just
nice.
barely hits the Ashe with this Emperor's Divide. Discord Snuggle gonna take him down, though, in the exchange. And now Dark Slasher forced to flash, but will die as well to Discord Snuggle. Gets the double kill for himself. And that's going to mean it's just IOL's bot lane trying to hold their own here. They're not going to get this dragon. They're not going to find any kills, and they're going to back off.
Romanize goes for the engage, and I don't know what the angle he saw there was, to be honest, because, I mean, he shuffled, you know, one player towards the Lilia, who's not even level 6. Maybe if the sleep is there and you get the shuffle into, you know, a 3 or 4 man sleep, that's a winning fight, but Dark Slasher needs more farm for that to happen, and there's just not enough follow-up damage, even from the Azir. You know, you're in that fight, I think he was just sitting on a blasting one, and like that's damage, but not a lot of damage. And so, yeah, even if that shuffle had hit more people, I don't think that's a winning fight for IOL. And as it is, it just go very poorly. They lose out on the Drake. They're down 3 kills. Here comes Call of Forge, got top though.
Yeah, he rams right into Aspect, but he does get pulled into the Death Realm, so Caravan just trying to buy some space and keep alive. Discord Snuggle is here. They're still looking for Aspect. I don't think they've seen him yet. Discord ulting going forward, now found. Romanize is here. The arrow, though, from downtown is going to stop him, but it will cost Discord his life as Aspect tries to go in onto him. Romanize trying to get on out. Here comes the ultimate from Mollywop. It's not enough, though. Romanize will pick up the first kill. They do manage to grab the Lilia, though. Hang on, he's turning this around. Caravan flashes the wall after Molly flashes forward to him, so he should be safe, but 2 for 1 in favor of IOL there. They do manage to make it work.
Mollywop's walloping the enemy with the Anivia, getting so much value into those short-range champs, and Caravan just gets caught. Ornn and Lilia alike just kind of struggle to get through those slows, the walls, the stuns, you know, unless you're getting some opening CC on her, like the Call of the Forge God or the Lilthian Lullaby. It's those champions are going to have a tough time dealing with this Anivia. And also, I do want to note that it seems like Mollywops is going for the Malignance Rush, which is a build that I am quite a fan of. It just gives you a much stronger one item spike. It doesn't take so long to come online as like the Rod of Ages plus Seraphs, which yes, it makes you that would make you very hard to kill, but being able to reposition your ult and getting a built-in magic resist shred early on is so nice as Anivia. So this champion is starting to take over the game already, and it's only going to get worse for IOL.
Yeah, and that's also going to be a problem too for, the fact that it's just going to double up the DPS from the ultimate. You get hit by the ult's DPS or dot, you get hit by the burn. That's just going to stack up very, very nicely. So I agree. I think it is a better pick in this case than the ROA, though I could see, like you said, the advantages of both. But IOL, we thought they were going to be in a rough spot last time when they went down a member, when they went down 6K gold, but they still found a way back. So until I see their Nexus getting hit, I know I will not count this team out. I think they can still pull. They still have a potential to pull it, but definitely will be a lot harder with a 3-0 Anivia to deal with, definitely. And a 2-1 Kha'Zix, who isn't going to finish an item. The Brutalizer just kind of passive stats. Instead is going to go for that Tiamat to be able to get some AoE for himself.
Ooh, Caravan might be in trouble up top, though. Discord Snuggle is looking for a play, but is going to turn towards the Grubs instead. Early objectives going the way of GSP. They already have the first Drake, and Lilia is nowhere near these Grubs. So that should be first 2 objectives secured, and an easy path to feats for GSP here. Last game, IOL had those dragons as an insurance policy. This time around, they don't have the first one. Maybe they can start grabbing them once the second one spawns in a little over a minute here. But for now, GSP in the driver's seat of the game.
Oh, Ash Arrow lands, but immediately cleansed by Riker, so he'll get on out there. Void Grub's going to go over to GSP, and now Riker at half health. The bubble is going to land. Oh, he might be gone here, trying to see if he can get over the wall, forced a flash over it. Galdrin looking for him, and he will manage to pick that kill up.
Did Riker walk back in after cleansing there? Because that's a pretty rough death if that's the case. I feel like it's...
He was walking back out, but he got hit by the corner of the bubble in the bush. And Dark Slasher flashing on in, looking to get a big sleep there. But we're actually going to rewind to see what happened here. And there is a pause. So good, perfect timing production. See right there, just hits the edge of the bubble and walk.
and a pause happening. Everything all at once. Uh, these engages without proper follow up. Yeah.
Yes, production, we hear you. Oh, we have some technical issues. Everything is getting a little funky. We'll be in us.
Syncs up the technical pause in game and technical production. We're internet issues abound. So we're in for a long night potentially. If this goes to 3 games, because seems like there's been a lot of technical challenges
well,
so
and
far
we're in a
on
pause.
the Rift.
Look outside. The Aurora Borealis is going to be visible in most of the U.S. and Canada tonight, so gotta go take a look. Get it.
We can GSP about 2 with Glacial Spectre pushing the tempo just like I said they needed to do. And yes, we can hear prod. They are very accelerating the game nicely. Should be able to grab this second Drake in about 40 seconds when it spawns, I'd expect.
Feel like this is my own stream now with the camera. But we are getting we're getting back into just a moment. Production's issues fixed, but we're still having some issues for the side of the teams. I didn't see who disconnected. Did you, by chance, before we went into the pause? Oh, that.
I did not. Oh, we're back though.
Are back.
And things are getting worse for IOL.
Actually, I think they got better for IOL. Didn't they? Oh, no, you know what? You're right. They switched sides. I forgot for a moment. So, yeah, did get a lot worse. GSP managing to find that kill for themselves as we're going to get that technical catch up with the pause. And 9-3 up 4K gold at almost 12 minutes in. GSP looking very good this game.
Very solid overall. I mean, I do think this time around they've got themselves a much superior draft. There's not a lot of answers on the side of IOL, but it's not just draft. They have been playing the fights much better. They've got themselves leads pretty much across the board. I mean, 3 CS up for Yunara, I guess, but 3 kills for GSP's ADC. You know, farming champions, not minions, or really plenty of both.
Yeah, and Dragon already started for GSP, so this could be going pretty easy. Kha'Zix clears Dragon on his own very fast, but he's got the Ashe to help him too. Nami gonna be there to dissuade any more push, and that goes down. But on the top side, for Call of the Forge God, his Aspect Legend locks up Dark Slasher into the ultimate, but now he is running away, and it's up to Caravan to try to finish this kill off, looking to see if maybe he could get that slam in with the Q. It's not going to be enough, though. Caravan going to hit him with the Q himself, and that's going to secure the kill for IOL's top laner.
Even though Aspect Legend dodges the Call of the Forge God using the Death Realm, ults the Lilia, who's pretty mobile, and despite the level lead, you know, Dark Slasher only level 8. I think Aspect Legend is level 10, if I'm not mistaken. The Lilia is able to kind of dance around in there, buy enough time to live, even with the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. So Mordekaiser is still going to need a little bit more time before he's a serious damage threat, but is on his way there despite the 0-3 scoreline. Meanwhile, rest of GSP still doing very nicely for themselves. They've got that feat of monster slaying, and so the upgraded boots are online. And they've got themselves 3,000 gold up all in all.
Yeah, in a very comfortable position for this team, especially after game number 1. But again, we did see them get that lead there. Ooh, hang on, we see a fight going on the top side. Dark Slasher going to use the ultimate to get away from Discord Snuggle. Caravan thinking of going forward, but Mollywop is here, flashes forward to get the ultimate and the wall down. Caravan also forced to flash as well to get away, and he's going to try to stay in the lane for just a moment before he just kind of runs back. And getting close. A lot of fighting, still a lot of brutal fighting going on this match. Everyone just kind of doesn't want to just farm. They want to poke. They want to fight. They want to trade, especially on this top side.
I mean, giving nothing for free, but sometimes that backfires. The action is just nonstop here. And look at the poke down in the bottom lane. Galadrim and Ethereal Ice dealing so much damage together. They have got themselves quite the lead with on the Ashe. And when she's empowered by that Nami E, it's a lot of damage in an area.
Ethereal Ice with the huge tidal wave, but it's going to miss. No targets found there. And
ambitious, we could call it.
Yeah, but it was an ambitious ult. You know, it's just like the tide. You got to just throw it. You know, it kind of just comes and goes, and sometimes you hit it, and sometimes you don't. That's okay. It's already at a quarter of its CD, so it's not like they wasted too much.
That is a low cooldown.
It is a very low cooldown. Nami ult is surprisingly low, but what's not low is this gold lead for GSP. Is it's still continuing to climb, getting closer to that 4K mark soon. Romanize was reconnected back in to this, and Discord Snuggle looking for an opportunity to gank. Riker gonna get hit. Does pop the cleanse, does get the shield immediately. Discord not gonna be able to find anything quite yet. He's looking for it. Teleport coming through though from Caravan to kind of back up his bot lane, but it does mean Aspect Legend is going to have a lot of free time up on the top side, and I'm actually surprised he's not pushing it. I feel like, you watch your opponent TP, you might as well just kind of push it in, just clear any upcoming wave and just get a lot of free turret damage in.
Gotta agree. I mean, GSP has the grubs. That turret might have just died if Aspect had stayed hitting it, but instead takes the back.
And now Dark Slasher was in position for Herald, did see that little blue trinket, so is not going to continue with that. But bot turret could be the option to fall here. Discord Snuggle still hanging in the area. I think they know that he is. Riker and Hoshikari are a little nervous walking forward here. The turret does go down. There's the Ashe Arrow. Beautifully played there. Riker trying to run away, but the jump in from Discord Snuggle's enough. The tidal wave will hit onto Hoshikari. He's trying to continue running, but the Nami will pick up the kill. 2-0. A turret, might even be a second turret the way of GSP. The objective bounties have come online, and this time they are justly earned because GSP is out of control. Now Dark Slasher forced to flash, trying to run away, thought he'd get in and maybe get a little damage back. Romanize is down here, but Mollywop is too. Doesn't know he's on a ward. He's caught in the ultimate, trying to run away. The wall stops his dash, but not on the side Mollywops was hoping for. Trying to see if he can get him. He's not. Romanize will be able to blast cone on out. And then GSP they're really, really trying to show. Last game was a fluke. We have this series in the bag. In game
GSP destroying IOL here. Everything is working beautifully for them. They've got the engage with the Ashe ult onto the cleanseless Yunara. They have tidal wave for follow-up, and then Kha'Zix just dashing through the team, killing everybody. 3-1-2 on the Kha'Zix, 3-0-5 on the Ashe. And we've also got the 4-0-4 Anivia, who wasn't quite able to pick up the kill on Romanize, but was certainly very close, and now has the Rod of Age's second item. Interesting pickup there, but will continue to scale off that. Not going to hit stacks as quickly, but, already has such a lead that the extra defense is pretty nice. ILO should be able to grab themselves the Rift Herald here, and that might allow them to grab a second objective bounty off the back of that as, Aspect Legend. Fight.
Yeah, Ashe Arrow coming on through. It's going to hit onto Dark Slasher, but the other two members from IOL have come up. Riker is getting close to death. Dark Slasher will take out Aspect Legend in the back line. Hoshikari, though, will fall to Mollywops. And now IOL on the back foot. The AD carry so low, they don't really want to try to contest this. Ollie looking for Romanize here, trying to get that stun, but it was just barely miss. And now they're still on the hunt, trying to see if he can wall one of them in. Is going to hit the wall, but a beautiful Emperor's Divide throws Molly under the turret. He's going to go down. Riker picks up the shutdown. Now Ethereal Ice forced to flash. Discord Snuggle in the area, though, and they got to be careful there. They're all very low, but What a beautiful bait by IOL's mid laner.
Signs of life for Romanize has kind of flubbed some of the previous engages, but there is able to bait Mollywops and grab a massive shutdown for the team. It didn't see exactly who the kill went on to, but anyone on IOL is going to be happy to get that gold. They've also got this Herald in the pocket, which they could use to try to claim another objective bounty. Oh, wait, actually, never mind. Bounties fell off, which means the game thinks that IOL is not doing it too shabby for themselves. They are still down to 3,000 gold and 3 dragons, but apparently that's not enough to give the objective bounties. They still have like a shutdown on the GSP bot lane that they could try to get. They could try to shut down Discord Snuggles, but it's not as easy as just popping a turret with that Herald.
Yeah, it'd be pretty easy to pop one of those, and there aren't really good options for them to pop with it right now. All those turrets are pretty healthy. IOL really hasn't had good opportunities to get onto the turret this game, and Atacon spawning on the top side with Thornbound could actually help them out. They might be able to draw some attention. They might be able to actually, now I look more closely, that bottom turret might be low enough. They could charge into it and break it if they can get a little bit of pressure there, but everyone moving up, trying to be in position around this Herald. Ash is up here. Mordekaiser trying to hit Caravan, and Caravan just going to dodge out. That does get the knock up. Yeah, very nice. Riker chasing on the Ethereal Ice. Yeah, throws the tidal wave. Ooh, a dash this time. Dodges the arrow. And now here comes Call of the Forge God. It's going to land onto the Nami. They're trying to get onto it. The knock up onto the Mordekaiser's Aspect is trying to run away, but they have set up Otacon, who is doing a lot of damage here. Aspect has managed to pull someone into the Shadow Realm. Ethereal Ice trying to run away from Dark Slasher. Has been able to get yet a beautiful Emperor's Divide is going to throw 3 people back into IOL. They're trying to get away. Mobs will pick up Romanize, but will lose 2 of his teammates in the process. The Karma falls. Now Discord Snuggle looking for Riker, but Riker has the kills. He has their number. Now Dark Slasher on the run. Sliver of health. Little bit for Riker. Still half health for Caravan, but this is a dangerous situation. I think everyone is probably going to back off and try to be safe, but the kills, they just keep coming and they don't stop coming.
It's a 3 for 2 in favor of IOL off the back of a massive Emperor's Divide. Another great angle found by Romanize, but the health bars are low enough that GSP is still able to get some wave control. And yeah, we see Ethereal Ice getting chunked out here, forced to flash, forced very low, but there's not enough follow-up from the side of IOL on that on the Ornn ultimate. And then the fight kind of, peters out for a little bit here, just trying to find the way in for both teams. Sleep on to just one, but here's where Romanize finds the angle onto the GSP backline, shuffles in all the carries, comboed with a big knockup from Caravan as well. And so getting the kill onto the Ashe is so big, but Mollywops being alive means that IOL can't capitalize quite as much as they'd like to. They still have to retreat on the back end of this play. And so all in all, pretty neutral, but considering that IOL is on the back foot overall, they are going to be pretty happy with an even fight, I think. Even as or slightly winning. Yes.
Yeah, and I want to note, like, I was watching, I was confused because I thought they didn't jump that far with the Emperor's Divide. And I think part of it was that Caravan E'd in and knocked them up while they were flying, so they didn't go as far, and that allowed Molly to get out of there. Same with Ethereal. Well, Ethereal was already kind of running around the side, but it was close. That could have been a really dangerous, bad fight if Molly had gone down too. They've been really the carry this game. They're like, so much of this team is relying on the power of this Anivia, and keeping alive allowed them to kind of neutralize the fight overall. But Dragon now the target for IOL.
Look up top side. GSP might be grabbing themselves Otacon.
Yeah, they're looking for that Otacon in the trade. This is only first Dragon for IOL. GSP is on Soul Point. They don't need it right away. And they don't know about this Otacon. I'm sure they guess it's happening, but they didn't sniff it out, and now it goes down, and some extra XP and some extra damage coming out the way of GSP. Romanize taking a trade there from Mollywop, and ooh, Arrow gonna go wide from Ashe. Bot lane turret, though, finally gonna fall, and IOL gets another one there, brings the gold lead to just about 1,500 or so, and it's looking better for them. They're clawing a little bit back, but it's still a little ways to go. And GSP is in a much better position than they were last game.
Yeah, IOL clawing back into this game, but losing the Otacon for Dragon is certainly a trade GSP is going to be on the happier end of. You know, they have the Anivia parked mid lane, so IOL can't capitalize with any turret takes outside of that bot one, which does bring the gold lead very close. It's now just 1.5 thousand gold ahead for GSP. So that, you know, relatively negligible gold lead, I would say. But those dragons and that Otacon are going to be felt, as I think GSP's comp is going to just continue to scale really well. There's a lot of scaling on IOL's side, but I think just the amount of CC and utility that GSP has should give them the upper hand for quite a while still.
Yeah, they've got some time, but time is still ticking. IOL in a still solid spot. Baron now up. Could be another point of contention for these two. We saw last game with that failed back, which was just hilarious to watch. the teleport
back
out.
into failed teleport. It was both.
Yeah,
of them.
both of them. Both of them was just, it was funny. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, though. It would be hilarious to cast, as we do see the members of IOL A-ramming it up here in the mid lane, all mid, looking to try to crack that inner mid turret and open up a little bit more of this area of the map. 4 members on the side of GSP are here. The Mord in the bot lane probably going to take that turret, but he does have teleport. They could look for it. They're going to drop the turret here for Romanize, you know, kind of watch their backs. Ooh, Caravan, though, spends a lot of time in that ultimate, is already down to about 60% health. The turret gonna get down to half health already. So half health, temp turret, half health, normal turret, and call the forge shots coming. Mollywop's gonna eat it, but no one there to follow up. Caravan looking for it, but has to flash on out and already used the knockup, so can't break the wall. The turret has gone down, though. However, they lose one. Emperor's Divide gonna try to separate them from the fight. They lose Romanize. Everyone else from the side of IOL on the run, trying to get on out here. Nami will be the sacrificial lamb. Riker still
That
on
might
the
be
run.
game.
But yeah, might be. Aspect is in the bot lane. Broke the inhibitor turret. Breaking the inhibitor. Still has a very healthy wave, but the rest of the team isn't coming over to help out. They're going to turn for the prize they really want right now, and that is the Baron.
And that's a 4v5 that GSP just went off the back of a really aggressive engage from Caravan. Throws on the call, the Forge God, and the Syrian Charge to try to pop Mollywops, because as long as that Anivia is alive, you are not touching that mid lane turret. Now, they do get enough space to actually take the turret, but I don't think that's worth. That's a mid inner turret for your entire bot side base and Baron. So GSP now found themselves a 6,000 gold lead, and they've got that Baron buff to continue sieging. And in just a minute, there's going to be Dragon Soul that, you know, they're going to have a pretty good time setting up. Not guaranteed, but with the way the waves are set up, I think GSP is going to have a good time.
Yeah, I think they're in a very good position. They're having a great time. They've got 40 seconds until the Mountain Drake spawns. They can get Mountain Soul. Mordekaiser with even bigger shield. Anivia with a big shield. Oh, that's gonna be awful for the side of IOL. They have really had a harder time. But Warren is at upgrade point. He has upgraded his item. He's already upgraded the Yunara item, the Kraken Slayer. I always forget what the upgrade name of it is, but that's a lot of power that they are starting to get, though. It does require Caravan to be alive, and he is not currently. He is trying to run on out. Does, though, call the Forge God down. Aspect, though, finally going to pick him up, and now they're looking for Mollywops. Dark Slasher, though, gonna fall. Karma as well. This is turning into disaster. A quick ace for GSP, and I have to think that's the game.
That should be a quick ace and a quick game. GSP gets everyone, loses no one. That gold lead, the Baron buffs, the team composition, it all comes together in that fight, and it's dominance from GSP in game number 2. With, yeah, especially for the mid lane and the bot lane, only 2 deaths between them and a whole host of kills.
Yeah, a massive amount of kills. A statement game from GSP after the rough time in the first game. They realized they just needed to be more aggressive. And you know what? That aggression paid off in strides. Just kill after kill going their way, getting them to Mollywops, getting them on to Stupid Goober, giving Aspect Legend. You know, he didn't get that many kills, but giving him a little bit more breathing room in the lane by focusing on Caravan. And Caravan had honestly a pretty rough game. We saw this in the last one with the Jacks too. Didn't have the greatest time, and this might have been IOL being figured out. They might have been realized GSP might know. Just target top lane. Just keep going at that and keep drawing their attention up there and look for picks and kills and objective plays around there and use that to snowball the game. And it worked. Look at Mollywop. Look at that damage.
Yeah, I mean, the Mordekaiser was still pretty down, but a lot of that was off the back of Lilia spending a good chunk of time topside. That's a lane that even with the attention, I don't think Caravan really wins. And I don't think Ornn is the win condition for this team either. You need to accelerate other aspects of the team, and so yes, Dark Slasher got to be kind of strong, but the low range component of IOL's comp had a very tough time here. I don't think that's really how they would have preferred the early game to go, but sometimes that's all you can take. I think that that Glacial had the better team, just the better composition, the easier win conditions, and they played to it better as well.
Yeah, and my concerns about the Karma were realized too. Hoshikari didn't do bad, but just couldn't really do anything. Like, what do you do with Karma when you didn't get to win the poke lane in the game, and now you're later in the game, but it's only mid game. You don't have items really, or all those support items to help your team out. You've just got redemption and your shield, and yeah, like what do you do in that situation?
Well, even with the shield, Stupid Goober or Discord Snuggles had the Serpent's Fang,
Yeah.
which nullifies that pick like pretty completely. Because yeah, so much of the power budget for Karma is in that Mantra empowered shield. So if you've got those Void Spikes from Kha'Zix coming through and melting through those shields, diminishing their power, it's yeah, a lot of your budget canceled out by one item, and it's an item that Kha'Zix likes anyway. The lethality.
Yeah.
Not too much more to say about that.
Yeah, I've been saying for a while, Serpent's Fang is a good item. Everyone's like, oh, but the stats are low, and I'm like, shield breaking is just that good. People don't understand how good it is to break those shields with that. Especially you upgrade your W, get the extended AOE poke, break the whole team shields. But Kha'Zix is gone now. Nivea is gone. Does GSP have anything else in the bank? What else do they have for us as we go to a quick break before we get underway with game number 3? So don't go anywhere. everybody, and welcome back to game number 3 here in the Conquerors League. GSP versus IOL. Both these teams do not have a series win, and they want to go home with it so badly. GSP getting the early success and carrying it all the way through this time in game number 2 sets us up for a final game number 3.
The Nivea pick, the Kha'Zix pick, both pretty uncommon ones, but they worked wonders for GSP in game number 2. They're swinging back hard after a, very back and forth first game. That second one was a lot more decisive. So we'll see if GSP can keep the momentum up in this final game here and walk away with their first series win, or if Iolani will be able to turn things back in their favor and get the win for themselves.
Where will the bans go this time? More Syndra, more Udyr, neither team wanting to see these options. The Wukong coming through as well. And I'm going to be curious what they're going to prioritize this time. It's on Aspect Legend to take the first pick. What will he grab for his team? Will we see another interesting B1, or will it be something a little bit more expected, like a support or an AD carry?
And then the Ornn's off the table, so we won't be seeing any B1 Ornn, no behind Ornn. But yeah, the pools for these top laners have been pinched a little bit. Mbess is a champion I'd expect to see this game potentially, because both play that. And okay, yep, that's the B1. That another pick that I feel like is potentially a risky B1, although I don't actually know what counters Mbessa super well. I feel like she's pretty good into tanks, and she can also go toe to toe with a lot of bruisers. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Iowa responds with it. It's Camille, so another similarly mobile bruisery champ. Has honestly plays in a lot of ways kind of similarly to the Mbessa. Has some shielding built in, so yeah, a lot of mobility. And Kaisa is going to be the pairing with Caravan's Camille, so that's going to add to the dive identity that IOL is starting to build themselves. Will GSP also bolster up their dive, or are they going to go for a bit more of a disengage focus comp? We'll see, as it is the Mel, so that is a very potent pick in the current meta. Just a lot of AoE damage, a lot of utility, pretty hard to shut down.
Yeah, the Medarda family building here in GSP. You've got Mel, you've got Mbessa. That's a very strong start. These are very strong champions. Graves as well. So you've got your bruisery marksman. A lot of going in here. A lot of front line to buy space for Mel. The Scion coming out for IOL, which those changes aren't through for jungle Scion. So is that jungle Camille? Or support Camille?
See, wait, that's interesting. It could be a support Camille. I mean, that was a thing earlier this season, but I think Bloodsong nerfs, I think, are what took it out of being such a powerful pick, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, interesting composition that IOL has started building themselves. I feel like GSP has a lot of damage with the Mel to get through that tanky Scion, but the Graves certainly might struggle with him. He can just be a body, Graves is one of the only champions where he can block their auto attacks just by standing between them and their target. So yeah, and then down bot, we've got a lot of support bans, as well as the Sivir taken off the table. Sylas picked up presumably for Romanize in the mid lane, although it's not impossible that it's a jungle Sylas, but not necessarily ideal ults for him to steal here. I feel like Mel's ult is a challenge because I don't believe Sylas can really stack up those passive stacks. And best ult, very good for him, but not a guaranteed one to land. So maybe GSP will hand over some extra ones, but no, again, Vayne kind of hard to use for Sylas. Yeah, I'm interested to see what these last two picks are.
Yeah, I mean, that does force them to pick something that may not give as good of an ultimate. The Vayne, good, also very good into the Scion. The true damage is always going to be great into tanks, and Vayne is, I would consider Vayne the OG tank slayer, and this is an OG style bot lane. This is Vayne Lulu. This is like one of those lanes that you would see way back in the day Uzi playing with his supports. So I think this is good. It's a very, very strong comp, but it also lacks, I feel, a real tank. And the Rakan coming out for IOL too.
Okay, Rakan to round things out. I think Rakan Kaisa is a great pairing. Lulu Vayne can be very strong, although I feel like with Vayne's short range, a lot of times she actually prefers playing with more like engaged supports that can kind of give her space to play rather than something that is similarly very squishy and wants to play kind of back, because Vayne has to go in to deal damage. And there's a lot of tools that IOL has to jump onto this Vayne when she does go in. And yeah, like you mentioned, not a true tank on the side of GSP. That could be a real thorn in their side. Now, Graves can be pretty tanky with the true grit, and Mbessa gets a lot of shielding as well. But I do think, for my personal opinion, I think I like IOL's team comp a little bit more. Although the wonkiness with the jungle pick is throwing me off. Okay,
Yeah.
so it
No,
looks like it's Silas jungle.
okay, so that's mid lane Scion. Well, I feel bad for the early game for Roman Eyes, because that's gonna hurt. Mollywops is gonna just make that a pain. Though I guess if he dies, he just uses the passive to keep farming. So a little good there. I have to agree. As much as I love Mel, as much as I love Mbessa, I think IOL's comp is just more concise. It has easier methods to play through. It's a little weird, but as long as they don't get stomped in the early game, should be fine later in the game. It's just a lot for them to have to deal with. I think there are some good Silas ults for Silas to steal. The Mbessa, I think Graves isn't bad because it converts the ratios to AP. Lulu ult is always great. Just you think your Scion's beefy now, wait until your Scion is even bigger. Or actually, you could do a really fun one with Kaisa, where Kaisa ults in as you ult her, and then just knocks the entire enemy team up. So,
or Camille or Rakan, grand entrance into wild growth on him, boom, boom, double knock up. Like there's a lot of there's options, but there's definitely not anything like the like the Seraphine ult to the Malphite ult that's like, if you steal it, it's just a team fight win. Nothing quite that big, but
I just feel like GSP doesn't have a lot of CC. Like they have Melly, they've got Embezzle, and I guess they have Lulu's Polymorph.
And Condemn from Vayne, but
yeah, like these are they're very situational. They're hard to hit, and they're not AOE outside of Mel. So that's gonna make it hard. Like this is a team that wants to go forward. IOL is very much a dive comp.
Yeah, GSP. I would say they're not super reliant. Like I think in phases of the game where, like, if they're playing extended fights, a lot of their champs do very well, just a lot of consistent damage output and things like that. But as far as starting a fight and like finishing it within seconds, I think that's something IOL can do, and GSP is gonna struggle to do. They're gonna kind of need IOL to make the first mistake and walk into them, because otherwise, taking like a lot, solo ulting in as Bessa, for example, probably not something you want to do.
Yeah, that could be a little rough. And Bess also, we've seen it. If you missed that ult, it is rough to kind of find another way into the fight. You watched that during Worlds. It took until a beautiful Xin Zhao for Doran to find that engage with Mbessa. But also, I have to ask, like, what is Mbessa's target here with the ult? Like, you don't want to target Scion, you don't want to target Camille or Silas or Rakan. You guess you get Kaisa, but if your team can't follow up because IO collapsed around it, she just ults out, and now you've just run around away from Mbessa and just quickly take her out. I just feel like GSP drafted a lot of comfort picks, but they don't have a lot of strong synergy with each other.
Yeah, it's a composition that doesn't make a ton of sense on paper, but maybe they'll be able to execute it. Comfort can win games. Like if you're just winning every lane and you're up 20 CS and you're getting kills because you just know your champ better, I mean, the game is not going to be too hard. So GSP certainly still has ways to win this. Like their champs are strong. I think I don't see the obvious synergy. But yeah, there's not like a clear target for Mbessa at all. I think maybe she's just gonna try to kind of be in the mix, getting Eclipse shields and kind of just sustaining up with Conqueror and things like that. That's gonna kind of be her playstyle, but I don't think that's like the preferred way she would want to be there. She wants to ult onto a squishy and take them down quickly, but Kaisa can go into her backline, try to assassinate the Lulu or the Mel or the Vayne, and kind of get a 2-for-1 value with that killer instinct.
Yeah, well, we'll see if GSP can pull it off, if they can do the Medarda special and win, or if IOL will lock this series up. Either way, both teams one of them will get their first win going into the end of this match. Who's going to take it? As we already see IOL looking for a quick push forward, but the vision is there, and I think they gave it away with that little emote. So GSP catches where everyone is and prevents the cheese play on the bottom lane or in the jungle.
Most aggressive level one we've seen from one of these teams so far, but yeah, not gonna find anything. It's yeah, talking about the draft a little more, you know, Camille is not a champ that we see every day. I feel like she used to be a kind of a staple pick, but she's definitely not like an apex tier strength pick nowadays. I think, you know, something like the Ambessa does tend to get a little bit more reliable value. Also, we've got Mollywops rocking the first strike in the mid lane, getting some free gold off of Scion. He's just going to probably be trying to, you know, farm up and scale up and become big and tanky, but she is going to do everything she can to just get free money and keep the lane shoved in so that Scion can't roam around the map.
Yeah, gotta keep him locked up there. I know they I guess they had the Galio. The Galio was picked earlier. I was gonna say Galio Camille is like one of the most iconic like mid top combos. That would have been a good one too. But they're in this one, and everything just kind of off to a normal casual start. Ethereal Ice gonna be looking for a lot shift there, but does get knocked up by Hoshikari.
Caravan level 2 versus Aspect.
Yeah, Aspect. Oh, gonna get stunned. Is he gonna get hit with a second Q? He will! First blood to IOL. Barely 2 minutes into the game.
Level up timers, massive in the top lane. Caravan gets access to the hard CC, as we're gonna see how that all played out. Yeah, I mean, we just get a replay of that final moment there with the flash Q. Boom. Such a stylish way to finish off a kill. And yeah, Caravan off to a good start here. This top lane has been non-stop action this entire series. Whether, you know, whoever has the counter matchup, whoever's ahead or behind, they're just going all in on each other at every opportunity. And it's a lot of fun to watch. But meanwhile, bot lane getting shoved in for GSP. Maybe could set up like an early reset off as the wave bounce. We'll see if they take anything like that. But no, looks like they're just gonna let the lanes meet. Romanize continuing to just try and survive the mid lane, and Aspect taking the fight top lane, but has a level disadvantage as well.
Yeah, that level disadvantage will come to bite him later. Caravan, yeah, that turret shot. I honestly didn't think he was in range for that. Maybe just the very tip of it. We're seeing the junglers pathing down already. They're clearing out their bottom side camps. They want this, or at least Silas wants this scuttle. Let's see if Graves too. He's coming on up. He might try for this as well. So we might see a fight break out here. Around that bottom dragon. Oh, another turret shot. Caravan just eating those right now. He's got to be careful. It doesn't really have much mana. Silas backing in the bush. Graves walking on up. I think he may have gotten spotted, but Molly going to be forced to flash after Dark Slasher dashes on in.
And gold's still pretty even, but early game looking nice for IOL, getting the flash out of the enemy mid laner. Dark Slasher should try to revisit that. Mel doesn't have great answers into the Silas, because if you reflect the chains, you just send yourself into the enemy team and die. So yeah, Mollywop's going to have to be very careful there. And even though Caravan tanks 2 turret shots, he's still pretty even on health. This Camille pick doing good work in the early game, but Vayne being pretty potent down bot for GSP.
Yeah, it's working well so far. Vayne, usually the struggle with Vayne is that she just gets outranged by so many AD carries. Very famously, Vayne, it was a troll to pick Vayne into Caitlyn back in the day because Vayne just so outranged by Caitlyn that Caitlyn would just free poke her all lane. But with a Kai'Sa here, someone who has, I think, equally short range, it's a good spot. Like when you have equal trades, like you just do 3 hits and you win a trade outright. As Aspect gonna get ganked here, Caravan going in and is gonna find the kill onto Aspect Legend. Good gank there from Dark Slasher.
Great layering of the CC. The hookshot from Caravan sets up the abduct abscond from Dark Slasher. And yeah, 2-0 now on the Camille. Caravan is at risk of running away with this game, because a fed Camille on side lane is extraordinarily difficult to deal with. She's so mobile, has great dueling power, can dodge some of those key CC spells with the Hextech Ultimatum, and Scrapping down in the bot lane.
Yeah, oh,
Kari goes
Hoshi.
low.
Yeah, so much damage onto Hoshikari there. And this is the power of the Vayne, we were saying. Like, you know, you hit 3 shots, and that spike from the true damage can really make a difference in a trade. And you're seeing it right there as the gold lead up 500 right now on the side of IOL, but still too early in this game to count anybody out. Dragon has spawned, so that could be on the table for either of these junglers in the next couple minutes.
Graves has an easy time soloing those objectives early on, but he's going to need priority from his bot lane, and they've just taken a reset. So if IOL catches on to this, they might be able to send Dark Slasher and their bot lane onto this objective. I see the on my way ping come through, and yes, they've shoved in the waves there. You know, playing the macro great right here, knowing that they have that priority to do this. It should be a free Drake over to them, and there's not really an answer for GSP on the top side. Caravan's just waiting under his own turret. There's no grubs for a minute and a half. And there aren't even any enemy camps to steal. So it looks like it's just going to be a grab over to this Graves in exchange for the Dragon. It's a pretty nice trade for Silas.
Yeah, great trade for him, getting himself a little bit of, you know, a little dragon buff is always nice. A little infernal drake. You always like that. As I think it's one of the better solo dragons that you can get in the game because it's just straight damage to you. So always good to have. And now we're seeing IOL just can, you know, more, this feels more like game number 1, except with a better early game for IOL. And that has me a little worried for GSP because we've seen when they fall behind the struggle that they can face. We've seen the coordination start to falter a little bit around there. So I you know, it's still early. It's not that big of a deficit, but when you see 2 kills, like they can't see the goal. When you're in game, you can't see the gold the gold differential between your teams. You just see 2 kills and a dragon, and that can be, you know, that can be a little tilting.
It can be, yeah. I mean, mental is a big component of this game, especially as you head later into the series. You know, players are going to start feeling the exhaustion, especially with all those technical difficulties that we saw earlier. And the bottom lane for GSP has been swapped up to top. Yeah, maybe trying to bail Aspect Legend out of a pretty difficult spot, but Caravan's gotten the reset off and has teleport available. So GSP is going to start up the grubs, and they have the first move. I don't know if IOL is going to mount any sort of resistance here, but Aspect.
Yeah, Aspect gonna try to get on out of there. Got ignited, got hit with the ultimate from Hoshikari, but is alive right now. Riker might be looking for a potential to go in. Aspect doesn't have the ultimate, so can't use that to maybe CC out. Ooh, does use the shield, though, to keep himself from really taking any damage there. And Void Grub's going to go the way of his team, so keeping these 2 down here has worked out. But it took all 4 of them to go up there and get it. And in the process, Cyan got a little bit of a push in the mid lane. Now he's starting to rotate down. I see the pings. I think Cyan's going to look for a gank here. This could be Aspect dying if he doesn't die just right here. And he will. IOL picking that up. Hoshikari barely getting out of there. And it's going to be Riker getting his first kill of the game.
It took 3 bouts of Rakan jumping in on the Mbessa, but they finally pull the dive off and get themselves that 3rd kill, that feat of warfare claimed. Yeah, really nice start of the early game for IOL as this. We're still 2 minutes out from the next Drake, but that may be another objective they're able to contest as yeah, they got themselves pretty strong. You know, this Sion in a difficult lane, but was able to pick up a good amount of farm, get himself some platings, and keep himself at a reasonable pace compared to his counterpart in Mollywops. Grubs, gonna be nice for GSP, but they're gonna need access to these turrets to really use them, and so far they haven't been able to get too much time with those.
Speaking of lane like matchups, like I want to talk about how like Aspect's position this game, because not only is he down 0-3, he's down nearly 30 CS. We might have to wait on that as we do see Discord Snuggies and Ethereal Ice both forced to flash. There comes the ultimate there. And now, Vayne going forward, she's looking to maybe see if she can find some kill opportunities here, but no one finds any kills, though. Ooh, Dark Slasher does manage to steal the Graves ult, does launch it off, and he will pick up the kill onto Discord Snuggies. Ethereal Ice gonna get out so far. Hoshikari and Riker maybe looking to go in onto this Vayne. She did burn ultimate. Kaisa still has her. She gets slammed into the wall, but here comes Molly. Oh, this could be big if she manages to find anything. Both the Rakan and the Kaisa flash. They do not want to even attempt to give Mel an assassination here. As Dark Slasher going to walk away and took a couple hits there from Molly Wop, but should be just fine.
In the end, IOL gets one kill onto the enemy jungler. No dragon up for 40 seconds, though, so they're not going to be able to pick anything up there. And wow, Caravan just takes a great trade onto this Ambessa. Yeah, both teams committing heavily to the bottom lane, blowing a lot of summoner spells and a lot of ultimates, but those ults should be back up for this next objective. 30 seconds now. IOL has great vision control over the area. 2 control wards, one in the pit, one in the enemy jungle, and but they are going to take the reset here, and that means GSP might have a little bit of time to walk in and clear out some of this vision for themselves.
Yeah, they should have a little bit of time there. They're gonna, you can see them walking forward, gonna clear that dragon pit ward, and might also get that one in the bush up there too, near mid lane, and the raptor on the backside of red buff. Yeah, Lulu's walking up there, so vision getting cleared up. Molly didn't really take much in the mid lane, neither did Romanize, but Molly doesn't have any mana right now, doesn't have teleport either, so...
Dark Slasher.
Oh, yeah, Dark Slasher finding Snuggles. Just gonna miss the chains coming back, but Romanize is here and hit. Akari's going forward, hits the ultimate, and they're gonna pick up that kill. Meanwhile, on the backside, Vayne is here and did a little bit of damage to Riker, but doesn't want to challenge the entire enemy team. The teleport from the Camille as well to bring Caravan down here. She's gonna just walk right back up, but just to dissuade any aggression from GSP. Hoshikari trying to take this ward away from Ethereal Ice. Gets Polymorph trying to run away, and Vayne will not get to use the Condemn. Dragon goes the way of IOL. They've got 2 on the board. They've got a almost 3K gold lead, and they are looking mighty pretty this game.
And the front line that was already basically non-existent for GSP is kind of evaporating even further right before their eyes. Their 2 champs that could kind of tank are the ones who have all the deaths, which means they are just going to melt in these fights. Yes, there's Outlaw's Grit for Graves, but it's, if you're behind levels, you just don't have the HP and resist to make that work. And the Ambessa likewise, if you're behind in items, you can't just sustain off the enemy team. You're going to die the instant you go in. So this game state is looking really rough for GSP with the comp that they have.
Yeah, and also like all that AD, no bruiser items yet. Yeah, it's Graves. He's probably going to AD first, but that's just going to make it even harder for him to be beefy. People forget Graves' passive, while it does add beef stats, does kind of require that you get a little bit of HP to help, accent those tanky stats, that armor and MR from the grit. Ooh, hang on.
Ethereal
Shikari
Ice.
going in onto Ethereal Ice. He is so low. He's burning. Riker continues to hold the ultimate. I feel like you could dive in right now, but he might be just a little nervous. The Condemn back. Oh, uses it to get back away from the Condemn. They're going to knock up the Vayne. She flashes and barriers, and Galadrim manages to get away, but just with a sliver. Same with Ethereal Ice, and if they stay around, they're probably going to be not long for this world. Is Riker looking for maybe getting a W, but I don't think is going to have the positioning with those minions.
Great performance out of Iola's bot lane there, but I honestly think it could have been more. I think if Riker ults onto Ethereal Ice instead of Galadrim there, that's a dead Lulu, and the Vayne will follow shortly after. But instead, both GSP bot laners are able to live, but at the cost of a lot of their HP and their turn.
Oh, and now Aspect was going in looking for Dark Slasher with the ultimate, trying to see if maybe he could get a trade, but does not happen, does go down, and they also lose the bottom turret, so IOL just finding more and more wins all over the map. Still no kills for GSP, 14 and a half minutes into this game. This is starting to look more and more dire for them.
It really is, and I don't think GSP's comp scales up all that well either. I gotta say, IOL has been excellent on these dives. Top lane and bot lane both pulling off some great 2v1 dives, and yes, they're ahead at this point, but earlier on when they got that kill onto Aspect, the Riker was 0-0-0, so I like the plays that they've been finding for this red side squad. They've got very firm control over the game at this point. There is a Rift Herald that they can try to grab here, but Snuggles is in the area.
Yeah, we we see GSP trying to get over towards this Herald, but Romanize just buying so much space. Caravan goes in onto Discord, snuggles, and the Herald does go down to IOL. Do they want to keep pushing forward? They do not, so they're going to back on off there, and Mel just trying to blast this wave down just to keep them from maybe dropping it mid. Mid turret is pretty low, so Herald dropped here. Could see things go down, but Silas is going to hold it for now. I think they're looking for a good opportunity to maybe not only get a first turret, but maybe in mid lane, but maybe the second as well. If they can force Mollywops back, they might have the opportunity. And I'm actually kind of surprised. Like, while Romanize is a little bit down in farm, has honestly had a very good lane. Like, really isn't that far down compared to where you would expect a melee champion in Demel to be, and has done very well for himself here. He's only down 20 CS, but like, you're Scion, so like every CS gives more value to you with your health. So I would say the estimated from the bonus stats is probably about even in terms of gold value, and if not a lead for the Scion. And yeah, it's just looking, he's been playing very well. Like, Romanize, honestly, this whole series has done pretty good. Last game, yeah, it was a bit of a struggle, into the Anivia, but like, he wasn't the one feeding it. And I thought he had some really good Emperor's Divides, so it's been really nice to kind of watch him perform better than expectations with the champion he's given in this lane. And I think it's very concerning for Mollywops that they haven't been able to get that lead, to get some kills on the Scion, and start kind of snowballing and accelerating their pace in this game. I bet that's been really frustrating for them too, as Mollywops now looking out. Dark Slasher is here. Oh, flash, because use the barrier on the W from Kai'Sa. So good trading there from the side of IOL to force a smaller spell to get the bigger one out. And there goes the turret with the Herald down. So more gold in IOL's pocket now, up 4,500. Dragon soon to be on the table. It has spawned. It will be a Mountain Drake. So Mountain Soul again, IOL, it's be really big for them. You think Sion's annoying to deal with now? Wait until he's got a full shield on him too.
Mollywops does have the Blackfire Torch now. I did just want to point that out. It was a Leandri's Rush, but the second item could give strength if they do decide to fight. But no fight will be found, it seems.
Yeah, I'm a little... Oh, Sion I didn't even see him channel it because he did it as the dragon died. And so it kind of hit it a little bit, but goes up there to stop Aspect Legend. And I agree. Oh, hang on, Molly. Oh, you're not long for this world. That only reverses projectiles, buddy. Molly will fall. Riker will pick up that kill, use the ultimate to get on in, and that's just going from bad to worse. I was going to say, Molly, I play a lot of Mel. I love playing. Oh, man, I still have to wait on this. Caravan still going forward, looking for Ethereal Ice and Discord Snuggles. Ooh. Oh, that's a beautiful engage from the Rakan. And that's going to be another kill going the way of IOL. But I was going to say, if you're playing Mel, it really should be rushing Blackfire Torch. It's just to rush, in my opinion. But
yeah, Mel's... Oh, so I'm getting a little... Okay.
Well, we knew what was going to happen there.
Yeah.
Aspect Legend dies.
Top 10 seconds taking moments before disaster. Hold on, Vayne.
Oh, yeah, they're looking for it. Vayne does get knocked up, though. Is baited back. The Scion charges on in. And now Vayne trying to get onto Riker, but Riker's just too big now. Goes on a rampage on the Kai'Sa. And Romanize still yet to die. The whole team yet to die. And IOL is it's just nothing but winning for that team this game.
It's, last game was extremely dominant for GSP, but this one's even more for IOL. I mean, they have drafted themselves, it feels like, every lane winning, mid lane, maybe not winning super hard, but yeah, like you've been saying, Romanize holding on very nicely in that matchup, because Mel she scales well, but she doesn't actually bully all that effectively. Her damage is very low early game, which means Romanize was able to shrug off a lot of that damage. And yes, Mel's getting free first strike value, but especially because she went for the Leandri's Rush, there's less mana and less CDR, which, so much of her value is in getting those low cooldown spells spamming out. If your cooldowns are long, you don't get to stack that passive up. And I don't know if we've really seen any value out of the Mel ults. And yeah, at this point, GSP is just kind of looking tilted. They filter into that fight one by one after they already lose, their top laner. Galadrim flashes in for no apparent reason. And I am struggling to see a path for GSP to win this game as the Otacon has also been claimed. IOL on Soul Point. The only thing they don't have is the Grubs and I guess an inner turret as they are giving up a decent chunk of gold with that shutdown. But speaking of giving up
Yeah.
gold,
Yeah, they're giving up some more. They're giving up some gold, but they're going to trade it with the kill on to the Vayne again. And now Aspect Legend going to be the target. The ults, the engages, the dashing around. And Aspect Legend still manages to get out. Dark Slasher did steal the ult, but just barely missed it. So doesn't get to lock him up and secure the kill. But they'll take an inner turret in trade. So inner turret for inner turret. They've just traded sides of the map. And that still goes in the favor of IOL, I feel. Now they're going to steal all of this jungle, all these jungle camps. Minute 46 until the dragon spawns would be soul for them. Oh, Discord Snuggies didn't see them. They don't know he's there. Now Dark Slasher finds Ethereal Ice. He's looking to go on in, hits the chains, and it's going to force the ultimate out of the Lulu. So will live, but that's going to be down, and I don't know if it will. Actually, it should be. It's already almost to a quarter, so it should be back up in time for this fight, but they're glad not to stem the bleeding a little bit there.
yeah, just a minute and 10 seconds now on this next Drake. That will be Mountain Soul over to IOL. And if you thought Sion was hard to kill before, wait until you see him with Mountain Soul. But even the Camille and the Silas as well. I mean, they already have so much sustain and healing, and some shielding for Camille as well. Like that entire top side is going to be a nightmare. I mean, they already are. Look at those KDs, but with the Soul, it's just going to get worse. So GSP really needs to make something happen, but the tools are just so limited for them. They've got to find the Embessa ult onto the key target, but even if you find Riker on this Kaisa, where's the follow up? Like, it's gonna have to be a major blunder from IOL if GSP wants to get back in here, I think.
Now, bush hiding here. They're looking for a pick with this dragon coming up soon. Maybe they do a Fnatic Death Bush. Couple opportunities here for the side of IOL. Mollywops does hit the E stun onto 2, but it's just not much damage right now. They're just so big. They're so far ahead. 6,000 gold up. And, oh, Caravan manages to find Aspect. Locks him up with the ultimate. Can he finish this kill off? Riker ults on in, and they manage to grab the first one. Now the fight completely broken out here. Vayne falls. Dark Slasher going to go unstoppable. The Graves also going to fall there, too, for a double kill for Riker. It's just Mel. It's just Lulu. And it's just going to be the Dragon Soul going the way of IOL. Roman Eyes thinking maybe trying to go for Molly here. But we're going to go into the replay while this is all breaking down.
Mollywop starts things off with a little bit of poke here, but the engage potential that IOL has is so brutal, and there's not really a way for Aspect Legend to get out of here, especially once that Hextech ultimatum comes down. You are stuck in the cage, and the entirety of IOL is bearing down on you, so it's an extremely free fight. Silas just gets Galadrim up on the top side. This Vayne, who should be a great duelist for GSP, is just not able to withstand that burst. The Lulu's separated from the rest of them, and yeah, 14-0. Mountain Soul claimed. Baron spawning in a minute here. I would expect IOL to get the win here pretty shortly. And hey, it would feel great for them after an otherwise winless season to get a perfect game to close things out. That's a way to end on a high note, certainly. We'll see if they can hang on to that 0 death score line.
Yeah, can they hold it out? Can they complete the deathless game? The unkill. They've all got some work towards their unkillable Demon Kings challenge if they manage to finish this out. Though I don't actually know if you get anything for that in custom games. But it would be a pretty statement win to get a deathless game. Something we don't see that often. And so far, IOL looking like they have it in them, but they've still got to finish the game out first.
I mean, for all the engage tools they have on the side of IOL, each of those can also be an int button, which is why I'm so impressed that they haven't died. Because yeah, if you dash in the wrong place, you might not come back. Now they have lost turret, so it's not a true perfect. But yeah, Baron has spawned, and I think that's gonna be IOL's next target.
Yeah, you already see Dark Slasher on it, and the rest of the team is moving up. You have Caravan hanging out, just kind of watching, making sure the Aspect doesn't push up into the area, keeping track of any vision. And yeah, it doesn't even need Caravan to take this. With these 3 alone, they should easily have it. bounty objective has been claimed with the turret on the bot, but the trade was for Baron, and I don't know about you. I don't think that's worth it, as we are seeing them starting to push down this mid lane. 2 members, though, rotating. Oh, actually, no, they're starting to back. They're just clearing it out. But 2 on the bottom side. Looks like they're going to set up maybe a push in the bottom, or at least have Caravan push, and the rest of them run mid.
Looks like it could be a 4-1 split coming through, just letting Caravan do his thing on the side lane, because he has been dominating this game from level 2 and just run with it the entire way through. Has more assists than kills, but has been looking extremely dominant in the 1v1 and finding the picks for his team. Now he's going to try to push in the bot wave while the rest of IOL is looking mid. Silas is kind of randomly in the jungle, hasn't found anything yet, and that could open up an opportunity for GSP to look for this fight on mid. There is Aspect in that pink warded bush on the top side who could try to find a way in, but even if he does, I don't think they win the fight. And here goes Discord's Dark Slasher.
Dark Slasher gonna grab Snuggles. Snuggles trying everything in the kitchen sink to get out of there, but will not be able to. Silas is dominating now. The turret in mid is falling, and it's just, you've got to feel like it's just a matter of time until this just is ending. And Bessel stolen by Dark Slasher, looking for an engage potential, does just barely miss Mollywop, but the base still under siege. The Baroned up minion there. The inner turret, actually the inhibitor turret, falling on the bottom side here by Caravan, draws one more down there in Aspect, but Aspect has already shown cannot handle this Camille. It's going to draw the Vayne down too, seeing if maybe they can get a pick here, but it leaves that bottom turret down, and Mollywop's been found! Dark Slasher goes godlike! Caravan trying to stay alive, seeing if he can keep the perfect game going. They take the Vayne, they take the Mbessa, they're going for Ethereal Ice, they're going to lock him up in just a moment. Maybe no, he will manage to just get back to the platform. Dark Slasher, ooh, probably good that he missed that, or he would have died to the shots from the spawn platform. He is getting low, but Graves will fall. Dark Slasher, no! He ruins the perfect game. A kill to the Lulu, but it's still a dominating performance out of IOL. They'll take that one death, and they'll take their first series win, and they will not go unvictorious on the season.
IOL will not go quiet into that good night. They will find a way to get a series win, and it's a dominant game number 3 after a pretty rocky second game for them. So great job by them to hang on to the mental and just fight back. I mean, I don't know where this team came from, honestly. Every single lane was just dominating, getting, pulling off these tower dives, securing the objectives, and I do think there was a pretty massive gap in the draft phase, but that doesn't explain everything we saw. I mean, they were, just every single player on IOL showed up in dominating fashion in that last game.
Yeah, very dominating game number 3. And look at those damage numbers. My goodness. Oh, good gracious. That is a lot of damage from everyone. Even the Rakan honestly had pretty good numbers. He was getting close to the Vayne in damage. Like, he was like 1 bar down. So yeah, it's just phenomenal performance from the side of IOL. GSP, they look good. They had a good early game number 1. They had a very strong game number 2, but they didn't have it in the tank for game number 3. And you were saying this was the end of this is the last week of the season, correct? Or is it still one
last
more
week of the regular season? Yes.
Yeah, so this would mean that GSP will go without a series victory on the season. It's always unfortunate. Unfortunately, one of these 2 teams had to come out of this with a loss. They couldn't both win it, but still, you've got next season. You've got, time to grow, develop, work on the things you need to fix. This is a lot of extra time these playoff teams don't have as much of, because they got to keep playing. So, I'm looking forward to seeing this team in the future. Hope they still continue to participate, and I hope we see their growth and see, them come back swinging next season.
I agree. I mean, I'm not, as familiar with either of these orgs or those specific rosters. Unlike some of the teams, a lot of the teams at the top, they've got players and organizations that have been around for quite a while. So if it's the first time in competitive for some of these players, I mean, there's a lot of learning you can take away from your first season, even if it is a struggle. Every loss is an opportunity to learn. I think if you keep your head down and really just focus on the improvement, the results will come later. It might not show up right away, but hey, maybe some of them are veterans. I don't know. I don't know the whole story, but uh, yeah, I think that more or less does it for me. I mean, once again, big props to IOL for getting their first series win off of a very exhilarating game 3.
Yeah, an exciting game number 3 there. Congratulations, IOL. And that will do it for us for the regular season, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. We'll be back soon, though, next week with the playoffs. So until then, enjoy the rest of Titans Leagues. Enjoy all of the gameplay, and we will see you next time.